Hey, bestie.
Whoa, how'd you snag that awesome set of wheels? I'm in the market for a new car, too.
My friends at Members Own Credit Union. You're always in the driver's seat when it comes to your finances at Members Own.
Always in the driver's seat, huh?
Yep. They set you up with a loan that makes sense for your budget with great rates and top-notch customer service to boot.
Looks like we're going to need to make a pit stop.
Let's go. I'll drive. Hit the road to financial success and explore auto loan options with your best financial friend, Members Own Credit Union. For details, go to membersowncu.org/drive. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting lincolnteammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Have you been accused of a crime and don't know where to turn? At Liberty Law Group, we understand that a call to an attorney is a call for help. If you're up against the legal system, you need an advocate you can trust to handle your case with professionalism and compassion. Liberty Law's experienced trial attorneys are committed to the defense of liberty for those accused. Don't let a criminal charge ruin your life. Call 877-42-LIBERTY. Liberty Law Group, trial attorneys you need, advocates you deserve. That's 877-42-LIBERTY or libertylawnebraska.com.
As you're gearing up for Christmas, it's time to head to Tailored Life in Bennett to get ready with local shopping. Make the short drive down Highway 2 for tons of items for your home for both indoors and outdoors. Check out their variety of Christmas trees in all different colors. Plus, many other fall and winter holiday items and landscape lighting to enhance the outside of your home. Don't forget their home goods for indoors, plus convenient drinks and snacks, most of which are produced locally. Visit Tailored Life today in Bennett and stay tuned to their Facebook page at Tailored Life 360 for food truck events coming up.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a champ, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. Touchdown! This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
Wrestling fans, it's time to elevate your game, just like Stevens & Smith Construction does for your concrete needs. As your full-service concrete contractor, we deliver solid results every time. From singles to doubles, fighting for inside position to scrambling reversals, we know how to pin down quality and slam expectations. Stevens & Smith Construction, a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket, where Husker wrestlers bring you all the action. Don't stall, Stevens & Smith Construction is here to help you build a concrete foundation for the win. Check us out at www.stevensandsmith.com because stalling is a penalty and winning is the only option.
Davis Plumbing is a locally owned company specializing in a wide range of plumbing services for both commercial and residential customers. Davis Plumbing has been in business for over 15 years and has a team of experienced plumbers ready to help you with any project, big or small. Customer satisfaction and peace of mind is their number one priority. So for any commercial or residential project, give Davis Plumbing a call today at 402-525-6922. Davis Plumbing, locally owned and operated for over 15 years.
At Koppel Chevrolet GMC, we are thankful for so many things this year, starting with our great employees, a generous community, our military personnel, and most importantly, our loyal customer base that continues to drive that money-saving mile of Louisville. Hi, this is Sean Callahan, and on behalf of everybody at Koppel, we want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving and safe travels to wherever they may take you. Happy holidays from Koppel Chevrolet GMC.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting lincolnteammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Husker Nation. Now is the time.
Holy moly! Man, woman, and child did that. Put them in the aisle.
Touchdown, Nebraska.
Does he have enough? Is it long enough?
It's going to be tipped. It's caught. How many tackles can one man break? He's to the 20. He's to the 10. He's on the way.
Totally unbelievable. It's game day in Lincoln, America, and this is the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show.
Check this out.
The A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show is powered by General Fire and Safety, Raisin Canes, Perch Merch, Sunbelt Rentals, Mullen Motors, Select Plumbing, and the Kindler Hotel.
Come on.
Get up and get loud, Husker fans. The A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show starts now.
Good afternoon and welcome to Black Friday, final game of Nebraska's regular season as Huskers Hawkeyes 2.5 hours from right now in Iowa City, where I am at. I am sitting right now, if you're watching the pregame show, if you're listening on the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, live from an RV south of the Finkbine Golf Course, just a short walk from the stadium. And I am joined on the phone from the same city by Steve Sipple, my co-host of Early Break Husker Online. Sip, can you hear me loud and clear?
Oh, this is incredible. Okay. This is incredible. The modern technology is doing this very well right now.
Well, if you are watching it, if you're watching this on the broadcast on TV, on Facebook, Allo, 961, Twitch, or X, or Twitter, you can see me. I got my Dolphins stocking cap on. I am still rocking it proudly despite the loss in Green Bay last night. And you can see Sip's graphic. This is, like you said, Sip, this is modern technology at its finest. We are both in Iowa City, but we are not in the same area right now. And that's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine.
If you could see me right now, if you could see me, I'd be incredibly scared of Big Brother. I just don't think it's possible to see me in the press box right now, but I'm glad we're talking, okay?
Well, I'm glad that we are too. We've got a game today, Nebraska. If you are a fan, you can breathe easy knowing, hey, no matter what happens today, you are going to a bowl game with the win over Wisconsin, who, by the way, Sip, Wisconsin loses 24-7 to Minnesota today. They are not going to a bowl game for the first time in 22 years. Nebraska fans do not feel bad for them after missing a bowl game every year since 2016, but that was remarkable. Last week, Nebraska got their bowl game, and Wisconsin could not get it done. So it's nice to be on the good end of that finally this year.
Yeah, you got to give Minnesota a lot of credit. That's a pretty big flex going into Madison and really imposing their will most of the game. I mean, I'd say from what I saw, about 80% of the game, Minnesota controlled it, if not all of it. And that's a good Minnesota team. Minnesota's 7-5, but
yep.
You know from following them that could easily be 8 or 9. And to me, it looks like that kind of team. That's a pretty good Minnesota team.
I agree. Yeah, they ran the ball well. At one point in that game, I'm not sure the final numbers, but at one point in midway through the third quarter, Minnesota had 270 yards and Wisconsin had 48 yards, trailing 21-zip again. Did get a touchdown, but they lose 24-7. Their season is over. Luke Fickell, season 2 is an epic failure in Wisconsin. But Matt Rules lives on in Iowa City today. And again, no matter what happens, we talked about it this morning, Sip, you were on the show, but we've talked about how Nebraska was a 4-point dog opening up, went to 6. Now it's down to a 3-point dog for Nebraska. I'm curious, as this week has gone on, your confidence level from Monday to now Friday in Nebraska's chances today here in a very brisk, chilly Iowa City.
Oh, I mean, my confidence level hasn't really vacillated any. I just figure it's going to be a game that goes down to the wire. Nebraska's going to have to come on. I mean, you know how these games typically go. It goes down to the final few possessions. You have to be immensely patient against Iowa because they tend to wait for you to make your own mistakes, which happens in football a lot. But if you really wanted to pin me down on my my biggest concern probably, Jake, is actually Iowa's secondary. And hey, they got 16 picks this year. Okay, this is a program that's led the country in interceptions 2 times since in the last 7 or 8 years. They're a good. It's a complicated scheme, there was a point in time where I thought, oh, it's a zone. They play a lot of zone. They kind of do, but they match routes, and sometimes some of the secondaries playing zone, and some of it's man to man. The point is, it's pretty complex. And if you think back to the Rutgers game, I think Dylan had some trouble reading, and it's a challenge for a young quarterback. These sorts of defenses, and Jake, they rush the passer pretty well.
Which is funny because I think if you look from just a total vantage point of Iowa this year, I mean, their defense has been average compared to usual. Like, I'm with you. The secondary is good. They have a lot of picks, but this is not a typical Phil Parker defense, which is just shutting teams down left and right. I mean, there's a reason why they have 4 losses. We mentioned Michigan State all the time, a team that's very average at best, maybe average to bad, had anything they wanted on Iowa about a month ago in a 32-20 win in East Lansing. That doesn't happen in previous years of Phil Parker's defense. So it is a good unit. They are always scary, but for some reason they don't feel as good as previous years. And by the way, the last time Nebraska was here in Iowa City, they aired it out. I know that was different with Casey Thompson, Trey Palmer, but that was the key to success, building a 24-0 lead, holding on to win 24-17. But they have proven 2 years ago they can air it out on this team if the right situation arises.
Yeah, Trey Palmer was the key, though, right? They don't have a blazer like that. They just don't have a guy that runs like that.
Right.
Not many. I mean, when you have a guy like that, it changes everything. And he just was running by the corner. Now, they do have a corner out, too. I mean, not out. He kind of shut it down, Jamari Harris. So that helps. They have a good corner. I think he has 3 picks this year. He won't play. That's helpful to Nebraska. But that you'd say, well, that's my biggest concern as far as Iowa's defense goes. Everybody knows the concern as far as Iowa's offense goes, right? I mean, that's the game, Caleb Johnson.
Yep.
Isn't that, am I missing something?
No, you're right. I mean, again, this is an offense that is starting a 5th-string quarterback in Jackson Stratton. It's been an offense that, like you said, has relied heavily on a rushing attack, which has been good for almost the whole year. We saw UCLA shut them down earlier this month, which was a tough loss for Iowa and a great win for UCLA. But that was it proved that it's possible. You can shut down Caleb Johnson. We did see when Nebraska lost UCLA in early November. Later that night, we saw Caleb Johnson, this team, put up 40-plus points on Wisconsin and just never looked back in that game. So when they get hot, they're tough to stop. The problem for Iowa is they don't get hot very often. Even though they had 40 points 3 times this year, that was some different circumstances. I would be surprised tonight, Sip, even with Nebraska having a leaky defense the last couple weeks, if we saw something like that happen tonight.
Well, what you hope happens is that Nebraska's defense plays like UCLA's played, which held Caleb Johnson under 50, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. Hard to tell what you're going to get in some ways. I mean, you have a pretty good idea, and they run outside zone, and you got to stop. You got to stop him from cutting up. And right now, there's a very uncomfortable situation because Nick Sainer is standing here staring at me. Nick, you remember Nick?
Yeah. Hey, bad take, Nick. Bad take. That's all I'm saying to Nick.
Yeah, we call him bad take Nick.
Bad take Nick.
Bad take Nick. But yeah, he's here. So the crew's here. And it should be, Jake, it should be a very close game and interesting game tonight.
Yeah, and I think the big thing is for, I guess as a fan myself, I think on terms of the fan base, and I hope the team feels the same way, is that there is a sense of relief. You do not have to win this game to become bowl eligible. You are 6-5. And so I would think, Sip, now correct me if I'm wrong, I would think that would take a little bit of nerve away from the team. They can go out there and play freely and say, you know what? We win. We beat Wisconsin and Iowa in back-to-back weeks. We went 7-5, which is, I guess, acceptable for what our goal was this year. So I hope you see a team with Dana Holgorsen, who had a great game plan against Wisconsin, come out with the same type of, just a loose nature, and you see them that they're not pressing. I don't want to see a team that's pressing and that looks super nervous and uptight, knowing that, hey, your postseason is confirmed no matter what happens today.
Oh, I think you're exactly right. I mean, I think they should be able to play a little freer now. It's sort of interesting that way. I wonder what that'll look like. As long as it doesn't swing too far, it doesn't swing too far the other way where they get a little too relaxed or feel, Jake, like feel too content. You don't want to, it's, sports and life for that matter is kind of a balance. You don't ever want to feel too, in your role, you don't want to ever feel too comfortable.
Sure.
I always feel kind of edgy if I feel too comfortable, and I wouldn't want Nebraska to feel too comfortable. But there's definitely that element where they don't have this enormous pressure on their back. So I wonder what that will look like. And then the other part of that that's really interesting to me, Jake, is the prospects of winning this game, and then what's ahead. And you got Tampa. It looks like Tampa would be you'd have a great chance to play in that bowl game against an SEC team. So you'd be staring down the barrel of a really good bowl in late December, which would allow you to have a very long run up, sizable amount of practices. I'd say probably between 13 and 16 practices, which are integral. As opposed to, Jake, like if you're playing, say, in the Pinstripe Bowl, which I don't think will happen, but if you were, you don't get much of a run up. So that amount of practice time gets cut a little bit too much for my liking. So there is still a lot on the line here. A 7-win season versus a 6-win season with a chance to win 8. Oh, that's very significant.
Well, and there's also the story that, again, uncertain right now, but if you win this game and the offense is clicking, you got to give major kudos again to Dana Holgorsen, who came in earlier this month in the bye week, called plays against USC, an 8-point loss. Of course, was awesome last week in the 44-25 win over Wisconsin. But you asked the question, if this team performs well offensively tonight, they win the game, they get to 7-5, you're seeing Dylan's confidence come back, see he can be the elite quarterback we knew he can be. What the process, the question becomes again, will you hang on to Dana Holgorsen? I know that's a question down the road to worry about, but we're trying to keep this thing rolling. You don't want to have a great finish to the season and then one of the big reasons of this OC coming in going away. But I know we shouldn't worry about that right now, but that's going to be the fear that Nebraska fans have of, wow, this is great. Can we keep this, or is that too good to be true?
Yeah, we made it pretty long into the conversation without even bringing up Dana Holgorsen. Yeah. No, you're right. Hey, Jay, that's in the back of everybody's mind, how that situation will shake out. I don't know that anybody really knows, unless it's, who knows these things all the time is agents. The agent world usually has the best handle on it, but it's hard to, they don't say much. So I don't know. It's very possible, Jay. I mean, I don't want to intimate that something's done. It's very possible that Dana Holgorsen has no idea what he's going to be doing in, December and January. It's I don't know. I mean, I hope for Nebraska's sake that this becomes a marriage, but you know how that goes too. I mean, if it's the right woman, sometimes it's not easy to close that deal, right?
Right.
She's the right woman for a reason, and there's going to be other people pursuing her. There's going to be other. This is a really bad analogy, but there's other people probably pursuing Holgorsen, and that's the kind of coach you want, right? Not a coach that nobody wants. You want a coach that a lot of people want.
Well, again, that's the goal, is that you want to keep him here and you want to keep Nebraska fans happy and keep him happy. And I would assume, now this is just me, I don't write the checks for Nebraska, but if this ends up being a game where Nebraska performs well, offense is elite, they win the game. I mean, I don't control the budget of the AD, Troy Danner University, but I would say, hey, what do you want, Dana? Right? It come down to that. This is a long-term elite OC.
No, but it doesn't come down to that in this case, because Houston's still paying him for a few years. Right. So the money is basically immaterial. He's going to make $4.2 million this year, 4.5 or 4.2 million next year, 4.5 million next year. It won't be a money battle. I think the battle is more. I think the battle, Jake, it could be as simple as this: are there schools coming after him to be a head coach? I don't know that he'd go somewhere else to call plays as an offensive coordinator, but will somebody give him a head coaching opportunity? I don't know what's going to happen to Gundy. I've heard varying stuff now today, like Gundy at Oklahoma State. Dana would be a great fit there, but Gundy might survive. It just becomes this kind of, see, Jake, you know how this stuff goes. It just sort of becomes this. It's a matter of what opens and what doesn't. You know, the carousel starts to spin, and people jump on various places, and you just don't know what's going to be out there. So that's what it comes down to me. Will there be a head coaching job for him? It's probably why he can't really commit to a place like Nebraska right now.
Well, yeah, it's a good point, and in terms of that, the question is going to be, does he want to be a head coach? Everything has changed so much in college football with NIL and portals, and that's something where it's driven people away to retire, to leave the game in general, and not just football, but also basketball. It's changed everything. So do you want to worry about that, or do you want to just be an OC and call plays? And maybe your job in recruiting is just to get the final stamp of approval on a kid, not have to be actively recruiting them the whole time. I mean, there's certain avenues that he could still be an effective OC like it was forever and stay away from all the NIL and portal stuff in some capacity.
That's a great point. He's been a head coach for 13 years, so he's kind of been there, done that. I don't know what's going through his mind. That's a good point. He said he had a great time on last Saturday, and winning that game, scoring 44 points, putting up 473 yards against Wisconsin. He said he hadn't had that good a time in years, and it was. He essentially says because I didn't have to worry about being a head coach. So that's a good point. It's possible that he would have that mindset. You just never know. Like Bo Pelini. I mean, I think part of the reason he's not working is because he doesn't want to work for anybody. He doesn't. Those guys, once they're the man for an appreciable amount of time, sometimes it's hard to go back to working for somebody. But maybe maybe you're right, Jake. I hope you're right that his life would be simplified. He doesn't have to worry about money. Probably it would just be a simpler life, and you know what it would be. It's doing what he does best in this life, which is running an offense and calling plays on Saturday.
Before we get to our picks for the game, Sip, we have not mentioned the name also through 18 minutes of Emmett Johnson, who was remarkable, 100 yards plus against Wisconsin. Also had, 7-8 catches in that game, was very good. And Nebraska had 5 yards per carry in that ball game. Again, as we talked about Holgorsen, if you see numbers like that again from both Johnson, Dowdell, and anybody else involved, maybe get Harburg involved possibly in some run plays, is that too much to ask for? What do you expect to see from Nebraska on the ground tonight?
No, that's not too much to ask for. Hey, Jake, offensive lines played well 2 straight games. Now, as I've said on our show, they're best at pass protection, but they've been moving people better, creating some lanes, creating some opening. Hey, come on, man, they can run ball. This is how the big uglies, how they feeling today. It's a day to run it. And hopefully they can move people, because you know what, your backs are their legs are live, as we've said this week. Those guys made it through the season in good shape, and I'm talking about mainly Emmett Johnson and Dante Dowdell. I don't know that we'll see Ramir Johnson. I don't know. I can't say. But yeah, I do, Jake. I absolutely think they can get the run game going.
Well, it is that time for your official pick of the game, Sip, your score, and who is the star of the game for the winning team.
Well, it's brutally cold. So I mean, that doesn't always mean you can't score, right? Green Bay was brutal last night, and they scored.
Hey, all right. Easy now. I'm still overcoming that. That was unnecessary, but I get it. It's fine. Take shots here.
I was just pointing out an example.
Yeah, I hear loud and clear. 27-20
Nebraska. I really like Nebraska in this game for reasons you've kind of mentioned. the pressure and the sort of the intangibles I like in Nebraska's favor. It feels like they had such a good feeling after that win. And again, like you mentioned, the monkey's off their back. And as far as I'll tell you, I got a player for you. It's not exactly a dark horse either. Ty Robinson's really playing well, Jake. I could see him going out. He's real. God, I rewatched that Wisconsin game, Nebraska-Wisconsin. He's just a bear in that game. I mean, he's really playing at a high level, and he'll be big tonight. He'll be big in that run-stopping game, and I think he'll show up. Okay.
I'm going to run the league back the exact same thing I said last week. I'm going to go. I said Nebraska 20-16 over Wisconsin. I will go Nebraska 20-16 over Iowa, and the exact same player of the game, Emmett Johnson, once again finishes the year off strong with 2 big games, and Nebraska gets to 7-5, and potentially Tampa against an SEC team in the bowl game. That is it for us. Sip, enjoy the game. I will see you on Monday. Go Big Red! There we go. Go Big Red. We got Taylor here. We got fans in the house. We're tailgating. It's a vibe in Iowa City. What up next? We got Nick Sainer also in Iowa City with Jay Foreman. That is next on the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey, bestie.
Whoa, how'd you snag that awesome set of wheels? I'm in the market for a new car, too.
My friends at Members Own Credit Union. You're always in the driver's seat when it comes to your finances at Members Own.
Always in the driver's seat, huh?
Yep. They set you up with a loan that makes sense for your budget with great rates and top-notch customer service to boot.
Looks like we're going to need to make a pit stop.
Let's go. I'll drive. Hit the road to financial success and explore auto loan options with your best financial friend, Members Own Credit Union. For details, go to membersowncu.org/drive. Federally insured by the NCUA.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a champ, it's action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. Touchdown! This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Hey everybody, this is Chris Beecham from Brand Lincoln Podcast and Perch Merch, your go-to in Lincoln for printing and promotional needs. Speaking of that, we are running a huge hoodie sale now through November 30th to save you big money on great brands. 20% off everything from Nike and Bella Canvas pullovers to Gildan and Port & Company sweatshirts and district fleeces. Get yours for your group or organization today by calling us at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
General Fire and Safety has been keeping Lincoln businesses and commercial structures safe for more than 50 years. From a simple fire extinguisher to full fire suppression systems, Lincoln has trusted General Fire and Safety to provide top-of-the-line products, installation, and maintenance. If you're starting a new business in a brand new building, call on General Fire and Safety to help you plan a fire safety system that fits the specific needs of your business, employees, and customers. Call General Fire and Safety today at 402-261-0116.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Ready to hit the road in style? Liberty First Credit Union is revving up your ride with unbeatable auto loan specials. Cruise away with rates as low as 4.79% APR for 48 months on a 2020 or newer vehicle. Need a longer term? No worries. They've got you covered with 4.89 APR for 60 months and 4.99 APR for 72 months. Hurry, these rates are cruising fast, so don't get left in the dust. Visit libertyfirstcu.com. Credit factors apply. Rates, terms, and conditions subject to change.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hey guys, it's Nick. You know how much I love beer, and this game day, show your Husker pride with Dear Old Nebraska Brew, the official beer of the Nebraska Alumni Association. Brewed by Nebraska fans, for Nebraska fans, Dear Old Nebraska Brew is your go-to for every kickoff, touchdown, and celebration. Whether it's tailgating, watching the game at home, or gathering with friends, this beer is there to bring that perfect game day refreshment. Dear Old Nebraska Brew embodies the spirit of Nebraska with every sip. So crack one open and let the good times roll. Dear Old Nebraska Brew, the official beer of Nebraska alumni. Please drink responsibly.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
This is Shane Podliska, mortgage lender at Lincoln Federal Savings Bank. I'm here to help you achieve your goal, the American dream of home ownership. Whether you're buying your first home or looking to refinance, I've got the experience and know-how to make it happen. So let's tackle this together. Call me, Shane Podliska, and let's get you into the end zone of home ownership. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. Go Big Red.
Personal banking like you remember.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by General Fire and Safety.
What up, A1 Ticket Pregame Show, Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. This is the Jay Foreman and Nick Sainer. We're brought to you by General Fire and Safety. Are you starting a business in a brand new building? Call on General Fire and Safety to help you plan a fire safety system that fits your specific needs of your business, employees, and customers. Go to LincolnGFS.com for more information. We got to look at Mr. VIP. Look at him. Hey, listen, you got your Tough Man contest on. I know it's cold. And you don't have a hat on.
Jay, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I befriended a security guard here down on the field who gave me hand warmers, and that's what we're surviving with right now.
But Nick, hand warmers, what is gonna warm that melon that you got?
Well, thankfully, I think I'll be way up there for the game inside. Yeah. It's a lot warmer up there. Had a great. I will say the one thing that Iowa does, and I hope this is the best thing that they do all day today. Is they knock out the pregame meal. They had the Thanksgiving treat, turkey, mashed potatoes. You know I enjoy that. I'm a meat and potatoes kind of guy, Jay. You know that. And so I scarfed some of that down, and hopefully that warms me up here in the near future, man. It's cold. Hey, Jay, it's cold out here, man.
I know it is. We were just talking about how cold it was and how you tried to act like you were disappointed I was not partaking in that drive. Contraire, mon frere. Young man, you have learned the old man's lesson. But hey, Nick, it is upon us. We're a little bit under 2 hours away, a little bit over 2 hours away. Let's just talk offense and defense, right? In order for Nebraska to win this game, obviously they're bowl eligible. All the fun and games are over, but ultimately this is a fist fight that's about to start here about 6:30 on national TV. Offensively, we've seen one game where Nebraska, against USC, showed some life, but nothing consistent. And then obviously probably the best offensive game, I would probably say at least in about 2 years, maybe 2.5 years. Give 2.5 seasons. Was last week against Wisconsin. Nebraska got out of the hump and got bowl eligible. But now this is probably going to be their stiffest test, right? Defensively, culture-wise, weather-wise, situation-wise, being on the road. What do you expect, and what do you want to see from this Nebraska offense to give them a chance to pull off this victory in Iowa City?
Well, I think it's going to start. We talked about it, Jay, as I was driving out there. I think you need to have a similar performance that Emmett Johnson had from one of the running backs, right? I think Emmett Johnson's going to be that guy. I think they kind of showed us last week that they have confidence in him. I'm not saying that like everybody makes such a big deal about the 100 yards mark. I'm not saying that you need to have a 100-yard rusher today. I just think you need a good balance, especially on a day like today or an afternoon or night like it's going to be here. Establishing the run, the ground and pound. This, Jay, as a defender. I know we'll talk linebackers here in a second. But if Nebraska can establish something early, it's the same sentiment that we have throughout the entire year. If they can establish something early, then you're going to start to wear down Iowa going forward in the third and fourth quarter. And if this game is anything like the last 6 years, this is going to come down to the final possession in the fourth quarter. And if Nebraska's got a run game going, similar to what Iowa's done and probably will try to do tonight, then I think Nebraska's going to be in a pretty good spot to win.
Yeah, I like that thought, Nick. I think, obviously it's probably going to be a little bit harder to run against Iowa as far as explosive play-wise, is just because of, Emmett was pretty, he was having his way with, that Wisconsin defense, and then so was Dante Dowdell. But I think the on-schedule runs, 3.5 yards a carry, that should be looked at as a good run. And if you're able to make something happen, you have to do it. But I wanted to ask you also about a big part of the offense that seemed to, obviously improve over the last 2 games, which is obviously 2 games in a bye week, so 3 weeks, is the perimeter blocking, and how important is that, considering that Iowa might focus on Emmett Johnson, try to make Nebraska pass against that cover 3, cover 1, and a little bit of cover 4 defense. How important is it for our perimeter blocking and schematics, how they get to it, to the success of this offense tonight?
Well, I think, you're going to be able to explain it better than I am from like an X's and O's perspective. I think one thing you can look at, though, is personnel, right? We saw certain guys out there in certain situations last week. And since Dana Holgerson's taken over, because he has made publicly and I'm sure privately at practice a bigger deal about the perimeter blocking than Marcus Satterfield did. And Marcus Satterfield always talked about it, and we hear it from assistant coaches about how important it is. And last week was really the first week, I think, this season that we saw personnel changes. We saw Alex Bullock in there at times, and we know he's, especially at the tight ends, right? Everybody wanted to make a big deal about Thomas Fidone and what that meant. But I think more importantly, it kind of showcased, okay, what did Luke Lindenmeyer do really well, or at least as well as anybody in that room? And then on top of that, the other tight end that I'm obviously blanking on the name of, in addition to Luke Lindenmeyer. Yeah, Nate Borkenshire. And so on top of all that, I think we saw personnel changes, and that's what I think Nebraska fans wanted to see with a new offensive coordinator. It was somewhat of a risky or an unprecedented move to bring in somebody that hasn't been a part of your staff all season long, full time at least, and have him take full control of the offense. But Nebraska fans said, okay, if you're going to do this, let's at least see and actually have some changes, whether that's personnel, whether that's scheme, whatever it may be. Just if you win a game, nobody really cares. And that's what happened last week.
Yeah, and then we'll switch to the side defensively. I think this is going to be a game of 2 things. Obviously it's a mindset game, but it's more of a want-to game. How long do you want to stay in the fight, and how long will you really dictate the pace of the fight? And then another thing that Nebraska needs to have a mindset of is just not today. Obviously, you got Caleb Johnson, who second in the nation in rushing. It's really stepped up this year. I think, he's probably done more with less supporting cast, obviously with injuries and just the way that Iowa, their receivers and obviously their quarterbacks haven't been able to stay healthy or develop. he's done more with less. But then also, you're playing against the best offensive line. I mean, they're Joe Moore semifinalists for like the 85th year in a row. So I think really you just kind of look rolling out of bed. I think you expect Ty and Nash and the defensive line to do their thing, right? You expect that, right? And that's got to be the guarantee. But this game is going to come down to the second and third level. The second and third level, how well you play from a technicality standpoint, be very technically sound, and fundamentally, really, really good. And then obviously you're going to have the right mindset to complete the mission today.
Yeah, and I think I want to ask you then. I want to kind of parlay it back to you here. Is from a linebacker standpoint, I think it's a big day defensively. I think on top of Caleb Johnson, we've barely talked about, and because of the unusual week with the holiday yesterday, had some changes in radio with the schedule in high school football Monday and Tuesday. We have barely brushed on Luke Lachey, their tight end. Yeah. Right. And if for their third string quarterback, no McNamara and no Sullivan today. And so it's like, for a quarterback that's still trying to settle in, tight ends could be one of the best friends. And Iowa's got one of the best ones in the conference, and nobody's really mentioned them because Caleb Johnson gets so much attention.
Yeah, I mean, Luke Lachey is essentially just like his dad, Jim Lachey, who was a great offensive tackle for what was called the Washington Redskins back in the day. He's an extension of the offensive line, so he helps Caleb Johnson really get busy. But then also he's a safety net for any quarterback, but mainly a quarterback, as Jackson Stratton doesn't have a lot of experience. And then also, here's what's also a sneaky fact is when it comes to money time, right? Close game. And we saw this a couple years ago, Iowa up at Minnesota when Minnesota was trying to get over the hump to finally beat Iowa. I didn't realize Iowa had beat them pretty much year for year for Nebraska at that time. I think 7-8 years in a row is when they had all from Michigan, they went to Lachey. Yeah. And Lachey is the guy that gets the call because he's dependable. He's 6'6". We met him at Big Ten Media Day. Great looking athlete. Fully recovered from the injury he had last year. So you have to look for him in the second and third level on second and medium or second and realistic. So if you really do your job and win first and second down, where you have them into third and 4 to 8, you got to think Lachey, because he's the biggest target out there. He's the most reliable, but then he's the easiest one to hit because of a catch radius. So really, it comes down to, Nick, is how well the second, third unit plays, or second and third level plays. And that's from Gifford coming down and being able to use his best attribute is being in the run game. It's Singleton. He's going to have to come and make some open field tackles against Caleb Johnson. And then whether it's Buford or, substitution guys, they got to do well. And then let's not forget Stephon Thompson, Shavers, even Javen Wright. Even if it's a nickel defense, you have to tackle well. That's where Iowa is going to try to exploit Nebraska. And if Nebraska does that well, this game could be won by 2 scores for Nebraska. So really, the mindset has to be defensively, we win this. We play well, we win this game. And
I mean,
go ahead.
I think you're right. And I think one thing that while Nebraska's offense played well last week, I think really their defense continued to step up. There was some moments in that early part of that game. And more so than I think even just the fumble at the end of the second quarter. Nebraska's defense stepped up, right? Like this is once again, Jay. I mean, we've talked about this on air and off air and on our multitude of post game shows. Is that you got 2 big guys that want to play on Sundays right there in the middle on the front, and this needs to be one of those where those guys wreak havoc or at least take care of some space so that the second level, the linebackers that we talked about, can get and make tackles. But like you just said, the tackling's got to be really, really good because Caleb Johnson's very, very good himself.
Yeah, and tackling can't just be coming down to one guy. It's got to be a team effort. And I think really against Iowa, they're going to run stretch zone, inside, outside zone. They'll do a little toss and some form of counter and power. But really what you have to do against Iowa is win at the point of attack. And that doesn't – you're not going to just blow these guys over. You got to win. That means you can't get beat at point of attack. You got to be excellent and fundamentally sound backside, and then you got to hustle your butt off to the play. And that's what's always really hurt Iowa. If you can really, really be really good with your feet and your hands and stay alive and not get slip blocked and scoop blocked and not kind of get caught up in the wash, you'll do just fine against them. And, one more thing is that, Iowa's always been like a team in my estimation, is they like to play bully ball until they get punched back. And that's where you've seen Nebraska have success against them, even in losses. But obviously, the last time that you were there, when Nebraska was able to win, whereas when you bring the fight to them, they go into reactionary. So it's really going to come down to, and you have a better feel right now on the field, is the energy and the willingness to say, you know what, I don't care how cold it is. We're here to play football, and it's going to be a physical game. And I don't care if we have to play to overtime. We're here to play the whole game.
I would hope so. I think so. I mean, from the offensive linemen are on the stadium right now. You've seen some players walk in. Matt Rule's walking obviously behind me and stuff. And I think the want to is there. I think, however, though, like you just said, one of the keys back in 2022 when they finally broke that streak was the fact that they came out and punched first. You had Trey Palmer that was able to hit over the top. It goes back to, Jay, in my eyes, it's who's gonna be the guy to step up. Who's gonna step up for Nebraska, make a play, whether that's Dylan, whether that's Emmett, whether that's somebody on the defensive side of the ball, or even in the special teams game. Like, one thing that we haven't talked about, and I know we're towards the end of it, is obviously this isn't as big of a stadium as Memorial Stadium is. And so in terms of like how high it goes up on each side, on obviously, what is this, the west side, it goes up a little higher than on the east side, where you can see Children's Hospital and everything above me on the east side. I wonder what does that football do when it's up there in the air? And so we know, can John Hull, who's made 8 straight field goals and kind of been a bright spot recently for Nebraska, in a game that historically is decided by a lot of field goals in crucial moments, is he going to able to continue his successful run going forward? And can Nebraska do the little things well, discipline wise, and come away with a victory? And you got to start, like you said, and like you just kind of asked, you got to bring the energy from snap number one.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game, man. I'm excited to, obviously I'm being in the warm confines of my house to watch it, but I think also, Nick, that's kind of a little bit of it's a good feeling for Nebraska, it should be, and it's just something that a starting point is, probably the last time, the Nebraska was at Iowa, it was kind of known before the game, but it came out actually about halftime that Matt Rule was going to be the coach. And I'm sure that people knew beforehand, and some of the players probably knew, Mickey and staff probably weren't going to be back. So when you show up to a place like that, you're dangerous because you have nothing to lose. Now, something that's comparable to it is we're bowl eligible. So you actually have the pressure is actually solely on Iowa. Iowa's at home. They got to defend. We're dangerous, so we can play loose. And so that's where I think Nebraska can really pose a lot of problems to Iowa. You're not going there, win or go home. You're going to win in advance. And then you could get a 2-for-1. Not only beat Iowa, then you could leap them in the bowl, kind of like you'll be higher ranked in as far as where you could go to a bowl game. So I think Nebraska could be a really dangerous team tonight.
It's funny that you mentioned that, and my phone has 8% battery, so I'll leave you guys with this one. First of all, I think Nebraska wins. I think they're able to get it done for that kind of reason that you just said so. However, on top of that, it's funny you mentioned the bowl stuff. I was talking to a fellow beat writer from The Athletic for the Iowa Hawkeyes just while I was eating upstairs, and he admitted, he goes, even if Nebraska loses this, they're still probably going to jump Iowa in the bowl rankings, strictly for the fact that Nebraska hasn't been to one for 8 years. And that Iowa, in terms of Iowa compared to last year and the years before, they've had somewhat of a disappointing year. They're not sexy right now. They don't have a notable name at quarterback, and things like that obviously play a factor into it. Still means you want to win this one, boys. And I think Nebraska's going to do it. There's a lot of Husker fans here that made the drive. A lot of people made the drive out here. Huskers are here. I'm here. I'm cold, but we're ready to go.
All right, Nate. Well, appreciate it. Obviously, we'll let you go get your phone charged and get watered up, because we know you rubber-dubbed and grubbed up there. My score for the game, I think we're going to win 20-17. And I think it's going to be about 20-10 for a while. Iowa will score late, and then it'll be a frantic finish, and we'll have to close the game out, kind of a la last time you were there. And we appreciate you calling in, Nick. I'll be texting you. Well, I won't text you because you ain't got no you ain't got no power, and you ain't got no minutes. So we're gonna talk to you later.
I hope the audio was okay.
It was perfect. It was perfect. Good. You did a really good job, VIP.
There's no reason for that.
Our segment again was brought to you by General Fire and Safety. Go to LincolnGFS.com to help with all your fire and safety needs for not only your business, employees, and customers, That's Jay Foreman and Nick Sainer brought on the A1 Ticket Automotive pregame show. Take a quick break, and then we're going to bring it to Vershawn and T. Farley. We'll holler at you.
Hey, everybody. This is Chris Beecham from Brand Lincoln Podcast and Perch Merch, your go-to in Lincoln for printing and promotional needs. Speaking of that, we are running a huge hoodie sale now through November 30th to save you big money on great brands. 20% off everything from Nike and Bella Canvas pullovers to Gildan and Port & Company sweatshirts and district fleeces. Get yours for your group or organization today by calling us at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Town Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
This is Chris Elgert, loan originator at Lincoln Federal. With over 20 years in the industry, I have found it's extremely gratifying to solve my customers' home financing needs and then show them the options and strategies available for them to fulfill their goals. But my biggest reward comes when I watch my valued customers experience the American dream of home ownership and move into their new home. Talk with me about your home loan at Lincoln Federal and go Big Red. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Personal banking like you remember.
Attention students and anyone else looking for a great deal. Sun Valley Lanes and Games has the ultimate weeknight special. For just $15.95, enjoy unlimited bowling, lucky putt mini golf, and laser tag. Flash your college ID at check-in to receive $2 off your admission. It's the perfect way to unwind Sunday through Thursday nights. Check out sunvalleylanes.com for hours and availability. Sun Valley Lanes and Games, located at 321 Victory Lane.
Lincoln's best place to meet, eat, and compete. Sun Valley.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a champ, it's action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. Touchdown! This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
Hey everyone, Lance here with Black Label. We specialize in creating custom crafted decks, pergolas, patio covers, and more. Plus, our retractable screens, gazebos, and patio enclosures create the ultimate outdoor retreat. With over 50 years of combined experience, we're not just builders, we're creators of unforgettable memories.
Call them today at 402-730-6333 or visit blacklabelbuilt.com for a free consultation.
Let's turn your backyard dreams into reality.
Black Label Built, built to serve, built to last.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Black Friday savings all month long. From appliances to mattresses, the savings can be found at Schaefer's. Rest easy this Black November on a new Serta or Beauty Rest Black mattress set. Now with up to $1,000 in savings when you add an adjustable base. Plus, extra savings all month long on all Samsung, LG, and Sony TV. Every day is Black Friday in November. Now at Schaefer's.
Hey guys, it's Nick. You know how much I love beer, and this game day, show your Husker pride with Dear Old Nebraska Brew, the official beer of the Nebraska Alumni Association. Brewed by Nebraska fans, for Nebraska fans, Dear Old Nebraska Brew is your go-to for every kickoff, touchdown, and celebration. Whether it's tailgating, watching the game at home, or gathering with friends, this beer is there to bring that perfect game day refreshment. Dear Old Nebraska Brew embodies the spirit of Nebraska with every sip. So crack one open and let the good times roll. Dear Old Nebraska Brew, the official beer of Nebraska alumni. Please drink responsibly.
Mindle Footwear is your solution against sore feet, blisters, and poor footing. Don't just take our word for it. Take it from Sip, who said he's never had a pair of boots more comfortable. You won't find Mindle Footwear in any store, sold exclusively at MindleUSA.com right out of Sidney, Nebraska. They're so confident you will enjoy the comfort their boots offer. If they don't work out for you, they'll cover the shipping to return them. Use code THETICKET for free shipping because your feet deserve a treat too. Mindle boots, just try them on.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting book. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Sunbelt Rentals.
All right, welcome in to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. We got Iowa coming up here shortly, but appreciate you guys joining us. This segment is sponsored by Sunbelt Rentals. From lawn and landscape equipment to hand tools, pressure washers, portable generators, and more. Sunbelt Rentals makes it easy to get what you need when you need it at sunbeltrentals.com. Here with Vershawn Jackson, the black shirt, and the captain, the black shirt, Terrell Farley, and the captain, Vershawn Jackson. Vershawn Jackson will bring you in here, as well as Terrell Farley.
Yo.
Got to unmute yourself there, VJ.
Come on, get yourself right, guy.
Oh, dang. It's game day. You see, I got my sweats on. I got my stocking cap on. I got my shirt, my sweater on. I'm ready to see the biggest win in Nebraska history.
Ooh, man. This game, I'm just looking at Iowa players. I didn't really study them that much this week, but when you got guys on their offensive line, just the biggest, Nash and Robinson, that's going to be a good matchup tonight. And whoever wins the battle of the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, I think that's who wins the game. But you're gonna have to wear these guys down physically on both sides for to see who determines the winner. That's always how it's been in football. The fourth quarter tells a lot about it, and it's going to be a low-scoring game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Nebraska scores 35, 40 points this game because now you're playing a defense that's been known to have good defenses every year in and year out. So this game is going to be won up front in the trenches and either on both sides of the ball. So that's what I'm looking for in a challenge tonight, besides the weather.
Well, I mean, when you look at it from a defensive perspective, the defense is going to have to win this game. They're going to have to tackle. They're going to have to fly to the ball, and I mean gang tackle. That means 11 guys around the ball, tackle the ball, get the ball out. They're having plenty of opportunities to tug at the ball, to pull at the ball. You just don't go and make the play. If you got him held up, let's get after the ball. We're going to need 3 turnovers out of this defense today. And if you do that, I guarantee offense is going to put up 35 points. We're going to blow Iowa out in the landslide.
Yeah, I see that. But it's one thing I do want to see in this game, and I don't want the weather to be a factor. I don't want guys playing timid because they're cold and they're never played in a cold game like this. So the guys got to be ready. They got to get warmed up. Like we said, I don't want to see any running back come out with any sleeves on their jerseys. On their arms, because we know what that means when you get into these tight kind of ball games and people just reaching for the ball. It is easy to knock out. So especially at defense, warm up. Come out sleeveless because you're gonna be warm once you get to running around, and having all them layers on it, it slows you up and it makes you stiff, and now you got problems and you want to take it off during the next series, and it might be a touchdown real quick, and you can't get it off. So, warm up real good and go sleeveless. This is the weather right here for sleeveless. You played in the hot all year, so don't let the weather be a factor. Don't be scared of the weather. Make it scared of you.
Yeah, and don't worry about the refs. Don't worry about the calls. Take care of your responsibilities. I think the linebackers got to have great run fits. Those safeties got to come. They got to come downhill, and they got to come downhill under control. They can't come downhill and be all out of control, because one missed tackle from a safety, and it could spell disaster for Nebraska, because this Iowa run game is about as best we're going to see all year. You better be prepared to stop it. No excuses because it's cold. This is perfect football weather. It's under the lights, and the lights are on. Everybody will be watching this game. For you seniors, you got another chance to go out on top. You got another chance to go out, show the NFL scouts why you belong on that next level. Don't shoot yourself in the foot today.
All right, special teams play. Bushini and Hall, man. Hall's been kicking well all year. Not all year, but the last 5-6 games, he's really been kicking well. I think that comes from him just getting all the attention of kicking duties, and getting all the practice. When you know you're going to kick, I think you kick better. And with him and Ivano went through earlier in the year, we didn't know who was going to kick, get too far, this person kicked this. Now he's the kicker. So, and Bushini just keep adding on to the great year he's been having already. Maybe he can get punter of the year if he just has a good game and closes out the year on a high note. I'd like to see a return. Jacoby Barney been back there lately, a couple of times a game. He's been trying to spark it for a little bit. We know the other guy,
IGC, Isaiah Garcia,
he's gonna fair catch it, but he's been getting some time at receiver. So we'll see how that go tonight. And let's pay attention on punt routine, because Iowa's known for blocking punt, especially against us, and we don't need to give any points off special teams. We need to just take this game, play defense real tight, win the line of scrimmage, establish a rushing game, and win this game and go out of winners. 7-5 bowl game. Let's be 8-5.
Yeah, I think that's the plan. That's the key. I don't want to see boom boom that much, because if we see him boom boom, that means we're punting the ball. So I would like to see the 2 or 3 times that he does punt the ball, make it be your best ones. But if we're punting, that's a bad sign. And I think they should be doing more of the punting. We should be doing more of the punt returning. Kickoff return, we've been close. We've been close all year in kickoff return. And I think this is the game. It's a cold ball, so balls might not travel as far as they would if it was hot. They're going to give you opportunities in the kickoff return game. I think we got to make the most of it, and Barney should be able to get something done in that game.
All right. I'm going to give you my prediction now. Iowa can't joke about us not being not going to a bowl game, so they can't say good Christmas this year. I say Nebraska 18-13.
Well, I never like to predict. I just like to see us go out and play all 3 facets of the game as hard as we possibly can and give it everything we got. Coaches call a great game, and players play. I think if the averages all average out, 35-23 should be the score. Aren't we giving up 23 points a game?
I'm with you guys.
17.
I think, okay, 35-17, but either 35-17, 35-24. I think we have to put up 35 points, though, to get it done.
All right.
I like it. With that being said, we'll go ahead and wrap things up here. Again, I want to shout out Sunbelt Rentals for sponsoring this segment of the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. From lawn and landscape equipment to hand tools, pressure washers, portable generators, and more. Sunbelt Rentals makes it easy to get what you need when you need it. Visit sunbeltrentals.com for more information. We're signing off on this segment. We got DP, Chancellor Brewington up next. Again, we had Rashawn Jackson, Terrell Farley joining us on this one. Signing off here. We'll talk to you in a little bit.
Go
Tune in to 90.7 as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran, for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey everyone, Lance here with Black Label. We specialize in creating custom crafted decks, pergolas, patio covers, and more. Plus, our retractable screens, gazebos, and patio enclosures create the ultimate outdoor retreat. With over 50 years of combined experience, we're not just builders, we're creators of unforgettable memories.
Call them today at 402-730-6333 or visit blacklabelbuilt.com for a free consultation.
Let's turn your backyard dreams into reality.
Black Label Built, built to serve, built to last.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com. The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a champ, it's action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. Touchdown! This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Hey guys, it's Nick. You know how much I love beer, and this game day, show your Husker pride with Dear Old Nebraska Brew, the official beer of the Nebraska Alumni Association. Brewed by Nebraska fans, for Nebraska fans, Dear Old Nebraska Brew is your go-to for every kickoff, touchdown, and celebration. Whether it's tailgating, watching the game at home, or gathering with friends, this beer is there to bring that perfect game day refreshment. Dear Old Nebraska Brew embodies the spirit of Nebraska with every sip. So crack one open and let the good times roll. Dear Old Nebraska Brew, the official beer of Nebraska alumni. Please drink responsibly.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
This is Chris Elgert, loan originator at Lincoln Federal. With over 20 years in the industry, I have found it's extremely gratifying to solve my customers' home financing needs and then show them the options and strategies available for them to fulfill their goals. But my biggest reward comes when I watch my valued customers experience the American dream of home ownership and move into their new home. Talk with me about your home loan at Lincoln Federal and Go Big Red. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Personal banking like you remember.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Mindle Footwear is your solution against sore feet, blisters, and poor footing. Don't just take our word for it. Take it from Sip, who said he's never had a pair of boots more comfortable. You won't find Mindle Footwear in any store, sold exclusively at MindleUSA.com right out of Sidney, Nebraska. They're so confident you will enjoy the comfort their boots offer. If they don't work out for you, they'll cover the shipping to return them. Use code THETICKET for free shipping because your feet deserve a treat too. Mindle Boots, just try them on.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by the Kindler Hotel.
Oh, let's get it. It is game day in Iowa City. Black Friday, an opportunity. And it's my favorite word to use about Husker football is opportunity. Opportunity for them to identify who they are. Not who they say they are, but who they actually are. And those step-ups in opportunity, this is the last one before this is the one that determines where you go, who you matched up with, who the standard is. Yeah. Are you pinstripe bowl bound or can you put the big parka away and go somewhere nice? But Iowa City will determine it. DP, Chancellor Brewington, Harrison Orange on a Friday. Again, game day, Black Friday. It's the rivalry, bad corn versus good corn. Easy enough. Before we do a thing, Chancellor, if you would, please, let's talk about our fine friends at the Kindler Hotel.
Yes, shout out to the Kindler Hotel. Book your stay today at the Kindler in one of their 45 well-appointed guest rooms, and that provides luxury in the heart of downtown. Enjoy a drink at Botano's Lounge while you're here and take in the outdoor patio. Book your stay at the KindlerHotel.com.
It's the spot. Now, y'all know how we do. And I'm not working at anybody else's standard, and I'm not working at anybody else's vibe. We are not the thermostat, my friends. We set the temperature of the room. And the only appropriate way to talk about football in Lincoln, Nebraska, at the Hub, Harrison Orange, hit my music. Turn it up. Let's go. And I don't care whether you're at your office, in your car, if you're somewhere at a bar, I don't care where you are. Get your game on. There's a movie that says, hey, let me see you get your mean on. Let me see you get your mean on. And then from one of the great American movies, the phrase is, hey, son, let me hear your war cry.
Let me hear your word. There's nothing like a fight song. There's nothing like a fight song.
You know, Chancellor, what does that do for you? What does that do to the heart rate just to hear the band strike up one more time?
Yeah, it's definitely a flash. It gives a memory. Strike up the band, as they say, when the obviously when the home team scores, they play their fight song, and you love to hear that after a win. But we hope we don't hear Iowa's today. That's the main goal. But for every college football player, I remember my NAU one. I remember the Nebraska one, and it has a special place for sure.
Does Nebraska's band travel with the football team?
I don't believe so.
They don't go to away games?
I don't believe so. The one thing about Nebraska, which I wish we would have done, is kind of honor them a little bit more and do how Ohio State goes up to the fans, but they sway with the song. And I think that's a tradition we had at NAU, and there's traditions all across the country. I wish we honored that a little bit more, because that's a special fight song.
Yeah, I think, and there's several things that can happen to do that. And I think having players identify that and say it is how it's going to move. And you have to pay. And folks say, well, in the history, you don't throw away history.
Yeah, right.
I'm not one of those people who say, well, this is how it was. No. There's a reason why you're here. Is the reason why the program, why people fight for it the way that they do. You went to Iowa City with a group of Huskers, and y'all came back with some hardware.
Yeah. And that was a pretty good Iowa team. I mean, they had what, 2 or 3 first rounders, DeJohn, Jack Campbell, and the Luke Van Ness, or the DN that went to Green Bay.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a pretty good defense, particularly in Riley Moss as well. That was a pretty good squad, but back was kind of against the wall, and the bowling opportunity was out the window. But just the bad blood, quote unquote, between Iowa and Nebraska is always there. It was chirpy before the game. Coaches getting into it. Special teams, they're gonna put their kicker on our end of the warm-up zone. So it's a constant thing, and I didn't realize it until I got to play in these games, because you don't really know the history until you get in it, and really afterwards as well. But this game is like no other.
Is there a responsibility for the program to consistently remind folks of the value of what they're wearing, what they're fighting for, and quite frankly, the history?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially in the transfer portal age, like there's a lot of guys that don't really know. Like Trey Palmer comes in for 1 year, plays Iowa, goes off, probably doesn't know the history, right? When we played Oklahoma for the first time in 2021, Coach Frost gave us a whole detailed, just history of what that meant. I'm like, oh, okay. And talked a little bit about Colorado, talked a little bit about Iowa, and just was like, hey, if you're going to play here, we want to make sure these rivalry games, because they mean something here. And I didn't know that coming in. So now I'm like, man, this game means a lot.
It is always a part of the assumption. And I get frustrated by the assumption that everybody knows how important it is. Hey, man, Iowa, I don't like you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like you. My brother didn't like you. My daddy didn't like you. My uncle don't like you. My grandpapa. Matter of fact, my mama don't like you.
And mama like everyone.
Right. Mama like everybody. We Nebraska nice, but we don't like you.
Yeah.
Like, we don't like your corn. We don't like your colors.
Yeah.
We don't like your attitude. And quite frankly, I think you're kind of weird.
Yeah.
Right. But the smack talk part of it is missed.
Yeah.
It's missed. Listen, we're playing. We would always, as a coach, I would always inject into the game. And to be real specific, to say, dear Iowa, and I would write a letter, dear Iowa, thank you for inviting me to your post-Thanksgiving festivities. I appreciate your history. I do. I hope you've had a fantastic season to this point. But my bad. Your girl here, my girl here, you need to take a loss. And a big loss. So thank you for inviting me. I'm going to enjoy the food in the stadium.
Yeah.
I'm going to wave at your girl, and we're going to take this trophy home.
This is one, I feel as if this is one of those games where the added, if you give me anything more than what's already there, you messed up. Because I already don't like who I play, right? I already don't like you as a program, as a team. There's already back and forth between the fans. I mean, I remember morning of the game, we played night game at Iowa. Man, I'm getting DMs from people. I'm getting added on Twitter. I'm getting all these different things saying, you suck, this, and this. You're not going to do this, yada, yada, yada. I'm like, you pouring gasoline on a fire that's been lit for 2 days. I mean, what's the point of that? So I say that to say that there's so much already on this game, and for the back and forth that will go on, it just pours more and more more and more gas on the fire that's already lit.
Is there extra juice in playing for a better bowl game? Because Iowa, look, they're pretty set up, right? Yeah, they're playing for a better bowl game.
Yeah.
They also don't want to lose Nebraska.
Exactly.
They don't like Nebraska. Okay, that's fine. Because Nebraska's it's the better looking Brady. Right? Nebraska is still Marsha. Right. Even if Marshall got hit in the nose with the football and her nose is swollen, Iowa's still jammed. That's ain't nothing you can do. You ain't got no national titles. Leave me alone. Shut up. You ain't never been that one, right?
Yeah.
So, but in that, 7 wins just lets the chin go up higher, the chest get wider, right? It is a different deal to moonwalk backwards into a 6-6 bowl. It's a whole different deal to Conor McGregor walk with your arms flapping your chest out into a 7-win bowl game.
Yeah, I'll say it like this, DP. It almost puts a Band-Aid on what's been happening, and it's kind of like, obviously there are struggles here, but you get to that 7-win mark, you're like, oh, okay. Well, and I think the confidence we're seeing with, the Holgrenson whole ordeal, I think a little bit of the confidence with the offense is back, and putting that into this game, and then, a little bit momentum bowl game. And then, as you know, I mean, football is all about momentum. It's a momentum game, and not only in the game, but from season to off season to spring ball, like these last 3 games, well, particularly Wisconsin, Iowa, and bowl game, these are very, very big games that can lead you do tremendous things in a recruiting game, for the players that are maybe on the fringe that you need to keep, for coaches. I mean, this does a lot. This does a lot.
It is the thing, and it's DP, Chancellor Brunton, Harrison Arns on a Beat Iowa Friday night in Lincoln, Nebraska. And for me, the last game of the season, especially I'm speaking from the high school level, and then being with pro teams and watching them go through the process. But it would always be, are we done? Have you accomplished everything you set out to accomplish this year? Have we accomplished everything? No, because somewhere on the list is beat Iowa. And then to accomplish the things that you need to accomplish. Listen, if you tell me that Dylan Raiola has accomplished everything he wanted to accomplish this season, the answer, that's not true.
Right.
Thomas Fidone hasn't accomplished anything. Like, you like, there's some dudes. Like, tell me that Jalen Lloyd doesn't have juice in the tank today.
Yeah.
Right? Tell me that if you're Jabari Butler, that you don't have a little extra sauce going into the day. And if you're Buddha, hey man, this is the last where I know what I'm doing. I know who I'm playing against.
Right.
Yeah, it has to be big. Like, can this be the biggest game of the year?
Yeah, and I think the guys have to make it that. They have to make it that. They gotta understand, okay, like, I think the bowl game, for whatever reason, sometimes can put the gas off the brake for most teams and say, oh, we got another one, right? Well, that can't be the case, because I mean, I would say this one of the more special groups of seniors just by the roll call of names. Husker fans are super, acclimated to them, and they've been around the program for so long, been through 3 different head coaches. They have an interesting opportunity to really put a stamp on things. Starting with the Ty Robs, starting with the Nashes, the Jamaris, like you said, the opportunity is great. I guess the question is how well can they play together, and how well they play together will indicate what team shows up. Because we've had probably 5 or 6 different Nebraska football teams within one season. Yeah.
It is interesting that how you level up for this game, how you walk the tunnel, how you face the crowd, how you put your toe on the line, that first line of scrimmage when you put your toe on the line. There is some kinship between Nebraska and Iowa. And no matter how the result plays out, this result resonates because in recruiting, because you're recruiting the same 500 miles, you're recruiting the same type of player from the same network, and you play in the same conference. So listen, having bragging rights and the ability to say, hey, Iowa, we got you.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like it's like great advertising. Like, I mean, this is the best marketing there is in the Midwest, especially for a lineman, maybe a D lineman in the Midwest, a tight end, guys that are maybe in between on the fringe, got Iowa and Nebraska in their top 5, them Kansas guys, those Missouri guys.
maybe, the Ohio guys. This is great advertising. It's really priceless because I don't know. It's something about that trophy. It's something about that trophy.
Playing for something. And people talk about participation trophies. Nah, dog.
Yeah.
This just means that, listen, two brothers went out in the backyard. One of them walk in feeling a little bit better than the other.
Yeah, one of them won. And when you carry that trophy, there's respect. I mean, of course, there's mutual respect, like you said, in program and history. And, y'all both put your pads on the same way and stuff like that. But it's just something different when you get to celebrate that trophy on your opposing team's field, in their locker room, talking to their fans, taking it from their sideline. It's just a little different.
Hey, man, it is from the movie Good Will Hunting. And John, Matt Damon walks up to the window because they competed for the same girl.
Mm.
And he walks up to the window and he says, "Hey, yo, Iowa, you like apples?" And dude's like, "Yeah, I like apples." And he slams the trophy up against the window. "I ain't like them apples. I got the trophy."
That's how it needs to be.
That's how we need to get down 3 keys, Chancellor Brewington, to a Husker win.
Yeah, I think offensively it's taking care of the football. We've been a little turnover prone in the passing game specifically. So just being keen on that and trusting Holgerson's game plan within that. And then defensively, it's going to be a daunting task with Caleb Johnson, but stop the run somehow.
Stack!
Yeah.
Stack!
Stack. And it's
stack
the box. I mean, make them throw. And when they take shots, they're going to take a couple shots, on the outside, whether it's, Malcolm Harzog or Sayer Wright or maybe the occasional Buford out there. Make sure, bat the ball down, tight coverage, and make tackles in the secondary as well. Then lastly, I would say good on special teams. I think we haven't talked about it a lot, but against an Iowa team, Minnesota teams, like these teams that play really sound defense, they also play really sound special teams. So making sure we don't make any mistakes there. I think we come away with the dub if we do that.
Mr. Johnson, you must go down. You must go down hard. Harrison Irons, give me my music.
Oh, you bet.
Let's set this bad boy up. Don't go anywhere. The A1 Automotive pregame show. And up next, Austin Orman. Hey, yo! It's Tricky Baby. They'll get you set up. Don't lose your fire, Husker Nation. Harrison, turn that up a little bit. Let's shake the cards a little bit. Roll it through. It is Beat Iowa Friday in Lincoln, Nebraska. Dude!
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals in everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a champ, it's the action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. Touchdown! This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive. Always honest answers.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealer, invites you to attend our upcoming Parts and Service Expo events. It's the best time to buy parts and schedule inspections all year. Take advantage of specials through December 13th with additional savings the day of your local expo. Find savings on oil and filters, gifts for under the tree, and pre-ordered John Deere parts. Visit with our trained and certified technicians and sign up for our winter service specials. Visit landmarkimp.com for a complete schedule and experience the Landmark difference.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran, for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Anderson Ford, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
General Fire and Safety has been keeping Lincoln businesses and commercial structures safe for more than 50 years. From a simple fire extinguisher to full fire suppression systems, Lincoln has trusted General Fire and Safety to provide top-of-the-line products, installation, and maintenance. If you're starting a new business in a brand new building, call on General Fire and Safety to help you plan a fire safety system that fits the specific needs of your business, employees, and customers. Call General Fire and Safety today at 402-261-0116.
Hey guys, it's Nick. You know how much I love beer, and this game day, show your Husker pride with Dear Old Nebraska Brew, the official beer of the Nebraska Alumni Association. Brewed by Nebraska fans, for Nebraska fans, Dear Old Nebraska Brew is your go-to for every kickoff, touchdown, and celebration. Whether it's tailgating, watching the game at home, or gathering with friends, this beer is there to bring that perfect game day refreshment. Dear Old Nebraska Brew embodies the spirit of Nebraska with every sip. So crack one open and let the good times roll. Dear Old Nebraska Brew, the official beer of Nebraska alumni. Please drink responsibly.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine bar. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Raising Cane's.
Rico's reaction should be your reaction when you walk into Raising Cane's. Living your best life, dancing, vibing, all that good stuff. You can order Raising Cane's today on their mobile app or online at raisingcanes.com. You'll be able to feed the whole family this football season with cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and their reigning MVP, that signature Cane's sauce. Game days are better with Cane's. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love. Austin Norman, joined by Rico in the 93.7 The Ticket Studios, approaching an hour to go until kickoff. Rico, I'm going to say something probably blasphemous, but I'm going to qualify before I go full blasphemy mode. This is the Nebraska-Iowa game with the lowest stakes in at least 8 years.
I don't disagree.
Both teams have clinched bowl eligibility.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, bragging rights, pride, Heroes Trophy, all that on the line. I'm not saying it is a low-stakes game, but we are used to seeing this game be played either with Iowa still in contention for a Big Ten West title or Nebraska fighting for bowl eligibility. It feels weird that Iowa's obviously out of Big Ten championship consideration, and there's no Big Ten West. So we should still get this game every year, right? It's the traditional rivalry that was predicted between Nebraska and Iowa.
Is the only one.
But as much as fans might want to win this game, as much as fans might feel the need to win this game, it's kind of weird just how little is actually on the line, big picture and small picture.
Like, obviously, this game is huge because it is a rivalry game. It is for the Heroes Trophy. You know, you've got all that on the line. But you're right. Over the last few years, Nebraska has kind of used this game as a, well, not used, they've been forced to see this game as a, we need to win this to get bowl eligible. Like, yes, it would be fantastic to beat Iowa, obviously, but they've needed to win this game to make it to a bowl game, and they hadn't done it for quite some time until 2 years ago when they did win it. But I mean, even then, it didn't really matter because you didn't get to go to a bowl game. It was great to win the game, and you got rid of your head coach 3 games into the season, but it didn't really have much stakes to it aside from kind of ruining Iowa's season. In this one, you're not going to ruin their season. It's just another loss on their docket, and for you, it getting into 7 wins would be wonderful. But like you said, you've already clinched bowl eligibility, so you're sitting pretty with that one. And maybe this will take a lot of the pressure off of Nebraska, and they'll be able to break through and beat Iowa once again, for the second time in 3 years.
3 years. It would, to me, I brought this up with Strick. It kind of feels like Nebraska-Creighton, right? Nebraska wins on the road, loses at home. Now Nebraska has a chance to go win on the road again. And again, I don't want to set this up as this is a game with no stakes.
Oh, this
7
is still
wins
massive.
is better than 6.
Yeah,
Beating
still
Iowa is awesome.
Huge stakes.
And this is still a young, growing team and program under Matt Rule, where you don't want to see a letdown today. You don't want to see Nebraska stop at 6 wins, right? Whether Nebraska wins or loses, obviously, I think we're all rooting for a win in here. But even if they lose, they play well. Obviously, no moral victories, but it'll be still a positive, encouraging sign if Nebraska comes out with fire, with intensity, with edge, and plays consistent. That's kind of been the knock, right? You get to 5-1. Then you have your ups and your downs, a close loss, a big loss, a big loss, a close loss. You finally get off the schneid. You get bowl eligible last week against Wisconsin. It'll be a good sign for the program that win or lose, Nebraska held a standard of play, but obviously we hope it's paid off with win number 7.
Now, let me not, fire back or counter with anything, but let me throw this in there that there is a massive difference between, ending the season with 7 wins and ending the season with 8 wins, depending on if you win this game and go to a bowl game and win or lose there. If you can win this game, get to 7, and then go to a bowl game and win, and you're ending the season with 8 wins, after what happened last year and the hype that surrounded this team at the beginning of the season, and especially following the Colorado victory. If you can end this season with 8 victories, that is going to go a long way to growing the momentum of this program going into year 3 of Matt Rule and year 2 of Dylan Raiola and the rest of this freshman class that has shown a lot of fight and vigor, and going into this, losing all of the seniors that you're going to lose and the key pieces that you're going to lose, especially on the defensive side of the ball, building that momentum and getting ready for your 105 person roster, and potentially, I know it'd be really late in the game, but flipping a few more recruits onto Nebraska's recruiting class.
7th win and a rivalry win certainly never hurt in that. Brad Stone Street on YouTube says, playing for revenge from last year and a winning season. Absolutely. There's a lot on the table. Waterboy says, the lack of pressure, I think, provides so much benefit to Nebraska.
Exactly.
The Huskers match up so well. I don't know. And I don't want to be the one.
Match up well, you don't know?
Match up well, fine. Okay, whatever. Iowa does things well. Nebraska does things well. I have my concerns about some leakiness in the run game, right? If USC can run on you, Darian Dupree went off a little bit against you last week, right? Nebraska's had solid run defense, but it's all Iowa wants to do. It's pretty much all Iowa is going to do.
Oh, they're capable of doing.
Right. I'm not necessarily convinced right now that the lack of pressure benefits Nebraska, right? Because this is still, the defense maybe, right? They can play with their hair on fire. I'm still waiting for another step from them. But if Nebraska wins, the argument's going to be, there was no pressure, so they could just go in, they could play free, they could play loose. But I don't want Husker fans to, if Nebraska loses, say, there was no pressure. Where were the stakes? The team wasn't focused.
They weren't focused. They weren't locked in because there was no pressure on this game.
Right.
And
they coasted.
They kind of went lackadaisical through it.
Right.
Yeah. I get that.
Husker fans, pick one, right? If you say that the lack of pressure benefits Nebraska and the Huskers don't play well, you were wrong. Okay, it happens. We're all wrong. It's okay. Just own it. Don't try to change your argument after the fact.
Or you were right, and I don't want to hear you complain about how they didn't want to play with any fight because of the lack of pressure.
Or because the cold or anything like that.
Okay,
right.
You know what? We're not doing cold weather.
No.
We're not doing
Cold
the
for them
whole...
too.
Yeah, we're not doing the whole, it was cold and they couldn't do this and blah, 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 blah. No, because guess what? Iowa has to play in it too. And guess what? Nebraska and
Big
Iowa,
Ten football, baby.
Same weather. All right.
Yeah.
You're not from California.
No.
You're not coming here from 60 degrees to 14 degrees. All right. Chill out. You left cold weather to go to cold weather.
Mm-hmm.
They are playing in cold weather as well. I don't want to hear that argument. We're not doing that.
I want to ask you this, Rico. The X factor for Nebraska tonight. Who's the most important player for the Huskers? In your eyes?
Can I have 3?
One per unit?
Sure.
If that's where you're going, I will allow one per unit, no more than one per side of the ball.
Can I name the obvious one that everybody is going to say, but I'm not going to say? Dylan Raiola, right? Dylan Raiola, obviously quarterback, freshman, X factor, right?
How does he handle the cold?
Exactly. I don't know if he's going to do it, man. Arizona, Georgia, he doesn't know cold weather, man. It's crazy. It's not like his dad played in Detroit. Granted, he played in a dome, but still. I will say offensively, the X factor to me will have to be, it's one of two people, but I'm going to lean Emmett Johnson with his breakout performance last week against Wisconsin. I believe that he'll, take over that starting running back duties and he'll get a lion's share of the carries, and he's going to have to make the most of it like he did against Wisconsin. He's going to have to be breaking tackles against this pesky Iowa defense, and he's going to have to make some moves and hit those holes as hard as he was hitting them and as hard as Dana Holgorsen called out the running backs for not doing when he first took the job as the OC here at Nebraska. So if Emmett Johnson can replicate or come close to at all, I mean, if he can be the receiving back like he was last week, I think that'll go a long way. But I think running the ball and being able to do what he was able to do against Wisconsin is going to go a long way for Nebraska in terms of getting a victory in this one. And defensively, I mean, it's one of two people, but I'm going to go with Nash Hutmaker. I feel as if this season has been good for him, but not as good as it was last year. I believe that last year he really had a breakout year and was poised to cement himself, establish himself as one of the better D tackles in the Big Ten. And he's just had a good year. Like, he's been there, he's made some plays, but he hasn't been as dominant as maybe a lot of people, including myself, thought that he was going to be, especially after shedding the weight for wrestling and then putting the weight back on, hopefully good weight. I don't know what kind of weight he put back on, but hopefully good weight that he put back on to be that nose guard for Nebraska. This is going to be a massive game for him because, as we said, Iowa wants to run the ball. If he can disrupt everything from the middle, then it's going to go a long way in trying to get those running backs to bounce the ball outside, and then it falls on your linebackers and your corners and your second and third level to make plays.
You said you had a third. Was Raiola the third?
No, my third was Ty Robinson. It's those two.
Fair enough.
Right there in the middle, making a big one. I mean, if you go 2 for each, then it would be Ja'Cory Barney.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
The X factor for me, Isaac Gifford. Senior.
How?
Last regular season game for Nebraska, he's seen as much, if not more, of Iowa than anyone on this roster, right? The young man is familiar with what Iowa's going to do. Isaac Gifford's primary role today is run support. That's what Isaac Gifford's been best at, is being that rover, coming up, filling lanes in the run game, occasionally as a blitzer. Where does Isaac Gifford get beat? Play action. Teams know this, right? They have his eyes in the backfield. They know they can sneak behind him because he is so aggressive, because he's primarily asked to step up against the run. His defensive assignment today, if it's not stopping the run, it's going to be a lot of Luke Lachey. Fantastic tight end who blocks well, who runs routes well, who catches well, is hard to bring down. Obviously, it's not just going to be a one-man game. It's not just a one-man matchup. Nebraska will mix it up. If Isaac Gifford has a good game against the run and doesn't bite on play action, so Iowa gets easy completions to Luke Lachey, whether it's in the flat for yards after catch or down the middle of the field. If Isaac Gifford has a good game, I think Nebraska's in position to win. But if Iowa takes advantage of Isaac Gifford and his aggression and lack of discipline, if that shows up tonight, I think it's going to be a long night for the Huskers.
I completely agree with you on that one. I think Isaac Gifford, with the way that he's been playing, like you said, he's really good at run support, but getting caught on play action more often than not has really burned Nebraska in the middle of the field with Isaac Gifford. And look, on defense, and this is probably why I'm not a defensive coordinator. I mean, there are multiple other reasons why, but this is probably the main reason why. I'm playing man. I'm loading the box, and I'm telling my corners, look, it's you and the dude in front of you.
Go win.
You win. Lock him up. Keep him. They're going to throw the ball I don't know how many times. It's not going to be a lot, but you need to make sure that if he catches it, you tackle him immediately, or you keep the ball from touching his hands. It's going to be you and this dude regardless. You have no help over the top. You have no help in the middle. It's you and him. Go win, because we're stopping this running back.
Two things before we get out of here. Turn it over to AD and potentially Raph. 4267 says, hey, Rico, do you think weather will be a factor or not? I think you were too vague.
I don't think weather should be a factor, because both teams have to play in it. So if one team is struggling with it, the other team is also struggling with it, but just being better at it. So just be better. Pretty simple, right? Just be better.
6 of the last 6 games, all 6 in a row, decided by 7 points or less between the Huskers and the Hawkeyes. Iowa 2-1 in trophy games this season, 28-10 in the last 38 games the Hawkeyes have played for a trophy. We'll see if Nebraska can put in a dent in that record tonight. We're about 50 minutes away from kickoff. Coming up about 45 minutes, AD, potentially Raph, as we roll along here on the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. For Rico, I'm Austin. Thanks to Raising Cane's for sponsoring this segment.
Ready to hit the road in style? Liberty First Credit Union is revving up your ride with unbeatable auto loan specials. Cruise away with rates as low as 4.79% APR for 48 months on a 2020 or newer vehicle. Need a longer term? No worries. They've got you covered with 4.89 APR for 60 months and 4.99 APR for 72 months. Hurry, these rates are cruising fast, so don't get left in the dust. Visit libertyfirstcu.com. Credit factors apply. Rates, terms, and conditions subject to change.
Hey everybody, this is Chris Beecham from Brand Lincoln Podcast and Perch Merch, your go-to in Lincoln for printing and promotional needs. Speaking of that, we are running a huge hoodie sale now through November 30th to save you big money on great brands. 20% off everything from Nike and Bella Canvas pullovers to Gildan and Port & Company sweatshirts and district fleeces. Get yours for your group or organization today by calling us at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Greens at 402-467-4444 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-467-4444.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
General Fire and Safety has been keeping Lincoln businesses and commercial structures safe for more than 50 years. From a simple fire extinguisher to full fire suppression systems, Lincoln has trusted General Fire and Safety to provide top-of-the-line products, installation, and maintenance. If you're starting a new business in a brand new building, call on General Fire and Safety to help you plan a fire safety system that fits the specific needs of your business, employees, and customers. Call General Fire and Safety today at 402-261-0116.
Lincoln Federal Savings Bank, personal banking like you remember.
Home. It's more than a place, it's a feeling. This is Eric Bertrand with Lincoln Federal Savings Bank. If you're looking for a place to call home, call me. Let's review your financing options and get you into the home of your dreams. Proudly serving Husker fans.
Personal banking like you remember.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive. Always honest answers.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealer, invites you to attend our upcoming Parts and Service Expo events. It's the best time to buy parts and schedule inspections all year. Take advantage of specials through December 13th with additional savings the day of your local expo. Find savings on oil and filters, gifts for under the tree, and pre-ordered John Deere parts. Visit with our trained and certified technicians and sign up for our winter service specials. Visit landmarkimp.com for a complete schedule and experience the Landmark difference.
It's the holiday season. Time for work parties, friend get-togethers, family gatherings, which means lots of eating. Maybe you think you've perfected your holiday meals, and maybe you have no idea where to even start. Let's fix that right now. No holiday party is complete without Führer's cheese spread. It goes well with any type of cracker, pretzels, apples, chili, vegetables, chips, and of course, it's perfect to pair with wine or beer. Holiday meals aren't complete until Führer's cheese spread is on the table. Find your own container at your nearest local grocery store today.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Perch Merch.
Folks, thanks for riding with us. We are right now about actually 40 minutes from kickoff in Iowa City. Nick is there right now. Nick Sainer, our very own, is in Iowa City. And also Jake is there right now. He went from Green Bay down to Iowa City. It's on. Rico, it's on.
He went from cold to cold.
Cold.
I don't know why. This man, for Thanksgiving, went to Green Bay, Wisconsin, and then Iowa City, Iowa. I don't know what he was thinking.
He went from cold to cold,
yeah,
bro.
But all right, dude. Usually people for Thanksgiving, they'll either stay with their family or they'll go somewhere warm. This man went colder.
No, he went cold. He went cold to cold for sure. And that is okay. So we want to make sure that Jake got there safe. Jake, shoot me a text. I'll shoot you a text later on too to make sure he got there safe. Nick, I know Nick was there. Nick was riding with us this morning on the drive with Rav. That's in Huntsville, Alabama. Rav was actually going to the Iron Bowl.
That's awesome.
There in Alabama. He's in Huntsville, but he's going to Tuscaloosa. He'll be there at the Iron Bowl versus Alabama versus Auburn. And we got AG that's in Houston. AG said it was like, I don't know, 50-something degrees
He
this
said it
morning.
was 60 something.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, it must be rough. That's crazy.
Something crazy like this. But folks, this is brought to you by Perch Merch, your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in and around Lincoln, screen printing, embroidery, vehicle wraps, and more. Go to perchmerch.com, perchmerch.com. Rico, you said something earlier regarding the weather, and I totally agree. I was sitting to the side listening to you and Austin, and Austin does a great job as well. Our whole team does a great job as far as that goes down here. The ticket. Rico, you mentioned something, though, about the weather tonight. The weather tonight. Okay, Rico, I'm going to pull up my phone right now. Okay, here in Lincoln, it's 29.
Yep.
Does not feel 29.
No.
But in Iowa City, it's probably similar. Rico, as far as weather conditions, and I got a few keys that I'll get to, but weather-wise, Rico, you're an athlete. You ran track, and a lot of folks don't know this. I always preach this out, and people are like, what are you talking about? Rico, you had one of the fastest 300 high hurdle times in the history of Bellevue West.
Yes.
When it's cold, though.
It sucks.
Bro. Getting warm for a game like this. You think about Nebraska. You're getting yourself prepared mentally for a game like this tonight. Rico, from the mental aspect, and both teams, as you said, are playing the same conditions.
Yep.
But from a mental aspect, what are you doing, bro?
It takes so much longer to warm up, and I don't know if that's but like for me, I had to start my warm up at least half an hour earlier than I normally would.
Yeah.
And really, there's a warm up before the warm up because I don't want to go through my initial warm up without making sure that all my muscles are ready to go and ready to fire, because you don't want to go out there and you think you're warm and then you end up pulling a muscle because you're not as warm as you should be. So for Nebraska and for Iowa, like we said, they're both playing in this. It's the way that you warm up and how long it takes you to warm up is going to be increased tonight. You can't go out there like you did for game 3 of the season back in August or September and think, oh, I only need this long to warm up. I'll be good. It's not, 80 degrees out there. The sun isn't shining. You're playing under the lights in Kinnick in Iowa in potential. I think it's like 14 degrees right now. It's going to take you a while to get ready. Man. And even when you are ready, you got to stay ready.
You got to stay ready.
Like we say, you got to, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. You got to get warmed up and then try to stay warmed up when you're on the sideline, because that defense, look, if that offense is mounting a really long drive and you're sitting there on the sideline, you can't just stand there and gawk at the offense or stand there and be looking on the iPad. You got to be moving, man. Like, you keep your brain working by looking at the iPad and whatever and all those plays, but you got to stay moving, because if you're cold and you go back out there, it's only going to lead to more issues and more errors.
Rico, you get yourself ready to go. I got a few keys, but you mentioned that getting ready. First of all, Nebraska is already here's my biggest concern. I didn't say this earlier during the show this morning, Rico. I didn't say a word about it. My biggest fear for Nebraska right now is, and not for the seniors per se, because Rico, let's look at this, man. It ain't just the seniors that may be playing their last game for Nebraska.
There are a lot of people who are playing their last game for Nebraska because they're getting down to 105, right? That's the number.
105.
Right? 105 people will be on the roster next year. They're at 150 or something right now. There are going to be so many people that are on this roster currently that will not be on next year's roster. Whether that's walk-ons who didn't even make the trip. There are people who are on this trip right now that not transferring because they want to or they want a better opportunity, transferring because they have to.
That part. Rico, there are guys on there right now, for the most part. They're, give or take, I'm gonna go low and I'll go high. Low, there's at least 30 to potentially 50 to 55 who will not be wearing the inline helmet next year. That's reality. So tonight in Iowa City, there's guys who made the travel squad, and there's guys that are here with us, obviously, that who didn't make it. But Rico, tonight, man, it's like, you know what? There are guys tonight. I want you to add on this. There are guys tonight that may be potentially auditioning for next year. What would you say to that?
I can't disagree with you. I don't know how many guys
we don't know how many
that are actually going to be on the field or see playing time outside of a blowout on either side where Nebraska's
But
gonna
guys
get
on the sideline.
Yeah, there are
Guys
on the sideline.
not on the field, most likely.
Yeah,
Not most likely.
Yeah, no, there
but
are
guys on the sideline
who are probably, getting some special team reps.
Yep.
Who are auditioning and trying to put some tape on for next year, for whatever transfer portal, when they hit the transfer portal, whatever team they're going to be looking at. But there are also, you got to think about it this way, AD. There are guys who won't be on this Nebraska team next year who are going to be done with college sports entirely.
That's the truth.
Not
bro.
because they
That's the
graduated,
truth.
but just because I was talking with I don't remember who I was talking with, but there are some people who I know that have or know some people who are walk-ons on this team that have said, look, if I didn't walk on at Nebraska, I wasn't playing college sports.
Right.
I wasn't
Right.
going to go somewhere else to play. I wasn't going to do it. If I didn't walk on and make the team at Nebraska, I was
Mhm.
not going to play college sports. So there are
Mhm.
people who won't be on this roster because they're walk-ons, or they're not, some people, unfortunately, however mean this is to say it, aren't good enough to make the roster, who will just be done with sports, will just
Right.
be a regular student at Nebraska, or will transfer somewhere and try to make it and might not, and it'll just be a regular student.
Right. Rico, real quick before we get out of here, man. Caleb Johnson. We all know about Caleb Johnson. If you don't know who Caleb Johnson is a
Living
running
under
back
a
for
rock.
Iowa. He is the second leading rusher, not in the conference, but in the country. And when he runs for 100 yards, they are 7-1.
Don't like that stat.
When he runs for 100, they are 7-1. He's a problem.
Yeah.
So Rico, I'm gonna ask you this. I'm gonna go bing, 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 bing. But first of all, Caleb Johnson. How do you stop him, Rico?
You don't. You hope to contain him.
Yep.
You don't really stop Caleb Johnson. But if you were going to attempt to stop Caleb Johnson, it's going to start with, for Nebraska especially, your two big guys in the middle, Ty and Nash. This is the game of all games for you to show up.
And Rico, would you say the linebackers also have to play a crucial part today?
Well, especially because if Ty and Nash do show up and they're mashing things in the middle, guess what? Caleb Johnson's gonna have to bounce things outside. Guess what? Middle linebackers, outside linebackers, he's on your plate now.
Absolutely.
Go out there, make that. You can't be missing tackles against a running back of this caliber, because if you miss one tackle, all of a sudden you throw somebody else out of position. All of a sudden he's down the field 40 yards and he's hitting his head on the goalpost.
Me and Jay Foreman, my little bro, I love Jay Foreman to death, man. We were talking about this earlier today. The linebackers are going to play disciplined football as far as that goes. Okay, Rico, think about this. A rhythm on offense. Last week, Nebraska scored on 6 straight possessions against Wisconsin.
Love it.
Okay. They put together 5 straight drives where 8 plays were longer. How crucial is that going to be with Rico, the weather?
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's not like last week here in Lincoln.
No.
When it was, 50 degrees, 40 degrees, whatever, it's going to be colder. How crucial is it going to be for the offense to put together drives?
On one hand, it's going to be crucial for them to put together long drives to keep that Iowa offense on the sideline. Not to say that they score quickly, but just so that Caleb Johnson can't get into a rhythm. Just so that Iowa's running offense can't get into a rhythm, and he'll keep stacking up carries, lowering his shoulder into you, and then by the fourth quarter, you don't want to tackle him because you're cold, and he just keeps coming and hitting you harder and harder and harder.
Mhm.
So that's going to be crucial in keeping him out of a rhythm. But really, it's about keeping yourself in a rhythm, keeping yourselves warm, and staying on the field to get that momentum for yourselves, and keeping Dylan Raiola, mentally, not to say that he's ever mentally checked out, but like mentally in the game, because once you're on the sideline and you're going over the iPad and you're doing all this and you're sitting there, like I said before, you might be getting cold. You got to keep yourself warm. So if you can stay out there and he can keep, picking apart an Iowa defense with short passes, long passes, handing it off to Emmett Johnson, hopefully, who's running down the field,
Right.
stacking big plays, just stacking plays together and stacking longer drives for Nebraska, again, to keep Iowa out of rhythm, might lead them into a situation where at some point they're going to have to pass the ball if Nebraska is stacking these drives together and getting these points. And that's exactly the position you want to put them in. But if you're going 3 and out and you're, even if you're flipping the field and you're giving them the ball, and then Caleb Johnson's putting together, 8 carries on this drive, 6 carries on this drive, at some point he's going to catch a rhythm. We've talked about it with Nebraska. You got to keep handing the ball to your running backs so they can get into a rhythm. If you keep letting them get these long drives, he'll get into a rhythm, and then it's going to be good night, Eileen.
Rico, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the text line here real quick, man. I got to bring it back up. Yes. First of all, I'm going to say this. One-Eyed Ray. What's up, One-Eyed Ray?
What's up?
One-Eyed Ray. Happy Thanksgiving. Yes, Rico is. Some of y'all don't. Rico, I don't think they know.
It's fine.
The type of athlete that you were.
It's okay.
And I'm going to say Art. And Jackson goes, Rico is an athlete. He goes, 80, what are you talking about? Rico, What was your 300 high hurdle time?
I ran a 37-second 300 hurdle in the summer.
Rico, okay, so when I rate 37 in the 300 highs, and Rico, how tall are you?
I am 5'5".
He is 5'5". My older brother, Mark Davis, ran a 39.3. Rico would have shattered, and my brother had that record at Lincoln High for 30 plus years. And I'm not putting anything out there as far as this versus that, but 37 is extremely fast. And the gentleman that sits to my right now at 5'5", when I rate, I know you may have, I don't know what it is, but Rico was pretty daggum fast. I'm just putting it out there.
Back in the day, we used to do some things. We were slightly athletic.
Yes,
That's how things went.
you are. You still are. The quarterback for Iowa, Jackson.
I would say, who is their quarterback? I need to.
Well, his name is Jackson.
Okay.
It's Jackson Stratton, and Jackson Stratton will make his second straight start against Nebraska tonight. Rico, he's inexperienced.
Mm-hmm.
However, when you have Caleb John, you just hand the ball up to Caleb. You're good to go as far as that goes, because we all know we talked about Caleb Johnson ad nauseum whatsoever. But Rico, here's the reality: you have an inexperienced quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing against him if you're Tony White and, first of all, Phil Snow, who came in as a consultant as well? What are you doing against him right now tonight to make him uncomfortable?
Two things. First off, you're loading the box to keep the running back from,
9 guys
from breaking everything off. Oh, you
Nine guys.
You got everybody. I told Austin earlier, I'm manning up.
Yep.
If I'm telling the corners, look, this is your man. You have no help in the middle. You have no help behind you. This is your dude. Figure it out.
I
All
agree.
right? This is all
Totally
you.
agree.
You're loading the box, and in obvious throwing situations, you're putting pressure on him.
Yeah.
You're putting pressure on the inexperienced quarterback. And again, you're making him make a play to beat you.
Rico, we're going with our scores as we get out of here. I'm going to go with mine. Actually, Rico, I'm going to go with you first. What's your score tonight?
I think Nebraska puts up a decent amount of points. And by decent, I mean 24. And I think they hold Iowa to a cool 13.
24-13 is Rico's score. Folks, you will have Nick Sainer. You'll have Jay Foreman post-game as well.
It'll be Jay and Austin.
Jay and Austin Orman. They'll be doing post-game, so you definitely want to tune in after the game. In this segment is brought by Perch Merch, is your one-stop shop for all your printing and promotional needs in and around Lincoln. Screen printing, embroidery, Vigo wraps, and more. Go to perchmerch.com. Again, folks, that's perchmerch.com. Folks, Rico, I'm going to echo off you, but I'm going to go a little higher. I'm going to say 28-20 Nebraska. 28-20 Nebraska. I think Dana Holgerson dials up some things and gets it done.
Okay.
We'll see what happens. It's going to be a cold night in Iowa City. And I'm going to say this. As much as I dislike Iowa, I love how they wave at the kids at the hospital. I think it's one of the coolest traditions in all of college football as far as that goes, Rico.
It's wonderful.
I love it.
All right, that's going to do it for this segment. Again, this segment brought to you by Perch Merch. Up next, it'll be Harrison Arns and Adam Carricker coming to you live from the Ticket Tailgate, A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show here at the Ticket Studios.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
It's game day at Raising Cane's. If you want to order like a champ, it's action off the field you need to focus on. The only play you're running is chicken. So what combo are you picking? Make it a perfect season. We've got tailgates of hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers and cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade. All available to order online or on our app. Touchdown! This season is about to be unbeatable. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
General Fire and Safety has been keeping Lincoln businesses and commercial structures safe for more than 50 years. From a simple fire extinguisher to full fire suppression systems, Lincoln has trusted General Fire and Safety to provide top-of-the-line products, installation, and maintenance. If you're starting a new business in a brand new building, call on General Fire and Safety to help you plan a fire safety system that fits the specific needs of your business, employees, and customers. Call General Fire and Safety today at 402-261-0116.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
If you're a homeowner or a business owner, you have a lot of projects, and no one has an unlimited budget or time. Sunbelt Rentals makes all jobs less stressful, with no need to purchase large equipment or hire a crew. You can do it yourself with rentals and everything from aerators and power rakes for spring yard work, to stump grinders, concrete mixers, tile saws, and more. Check out their inventory in Lincoln, north of Cornhusker Highway on 56th Street, or online at sunbeltrentals.com.
Hey, bestie! Whoa, how'd you snag that awesome set of wheels? I'm in the market for a new car, too. My friends at Members Own Credit Union. You're always in the driver's seat when it comes to your finances at Members Own. Always in the driver's seat, huh? Yep. They set you up with a loan that makes sense for your budget, with great rates and top-notch customer service to boot. Looks like we're going to need to make a pit stop. Let's go. I'll drive. Hit the road to financial success and explore auto loan options with your best financial friend, Members Own Credit Union. For details, go to membersowncu.org/drive. Federally insured by the NCUA.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P.
Black Friday savings all month long. From appliances to mattresses, the savings can be found at Schaefer's. For a limited time, you can save $200 on a legendary Speed Queen pair of your own, including new black models with a 7-year warranty. These American-made machines are built on a solid foundation to outlast the competition. Every day is Black Friday in November, now at Schaefer's.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran, for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Anderson Ford, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey everybody, this is Chris Beecham from Brand Lincoln Podcast and Perch Merch, your go-to in Lincoln for printing and promotional needs. Speaking of that, we are running a huge hoodie sale now through November 30th to save you big money on great brands. 20% off everything from Nike and Bella Canvas pullovers to Gildan and Port & Company sweatshirts and district fleeces. Get yours for your group or organization today by calling us at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Hey guys, it's Nick. You know how much I love beer, and this game day, show your Husker pride with Dear Old Nebraska Brew, the official beer of the Nebraska Alumni Association. Brewed by Nebraska fans, for Nebraska fans, Dear Old Nebraska Brew is your go-to for every kickoff, touchdown, and celebration. Whether it's tailgating, watching the game at home, or gathering with friends, this beer is there to bring that perfect game day refreshment. Dear Old Nebraska Brew embodies the spirit of Nebraska with every sip. So crack one open and let the good times roll. Dear Old Nebraska Brew, the official beer of Nebraska alumni. Please drink responsibly.
Lincoln Federal Savings Bank. Personal banking like you remember.
Home. It's more than a place, it's a feeling. This is Eric Bertrand with Lincoln Federal Savings Bank. If you're looking for a place to call home, call me. Let's review your financing options and get you into the home of your dreams. Proudly serving Husker fans.
Personal banking like you remember.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's the holiday season. Time for work parties, friend get-togethers, family gatherings, which means lots of eating. Maybe you think you've perfected your holiday meals, and maybe you have no idea where to even start. Let's fix that right now. No holiday party is complete without Führer's cheese spread. It goes well with any type of cracker, pretzels, apples, chili, vegetables, chips, and of course, it's perfect to pair with wine or beer. Holiday meals aren't complete until Furious Cheese Spreads is on the table. Find your own container at your nearest local grocery store today.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Select Plumbing.
All right, welcome back into the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show. This segment, I am joined by the former Husker Adam Carricker, and this segment is sponsored by Select Plumbing, now servicing Seward and Milford, in addition to Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area. For any plumbing issues, call Select Plumbing at 402-542-5319. Let's bring him in. Adam Carricker. We got Iowa. We're 20 minutes away from kickoff versus the lowly Iowa Hawkeyes. A chance to give them their 5th loss of the season. Adam Carricker, how's going on this Black Friday, and how are we feeling about this game?
Well, life's pretty good for me so far. We'll see in about 3.5, 4 hours how I'm feeling at that point. But about the game, dude, I think it's going to be it's every game comes down to one possession. It seems the past 6 years in a row, 3 of those games have been walk-off field goals for the bad guys, unfortunately. But we turned around our fortunes versus Wisconsin. Hopefully, we can do the same thing versus Iowa. I mean, a lot of this is going to come down to, can we stop the run? Can we continue to do? We have to do exactly what we did versus Wisconsin versus Iowa's defense, but can we continue to be much improved on offense? Can we stop the run on defense? And they're plus 11 in the turnover battle. We're plus 1 during our 4-game losing streak. We were minus 7. So when we don't turn the ball over, all right, and we win the turnover margin, we're 6-1 this year. When we lose the turnover battle, it's much more the other way. So stopping the run, just continue to be improved on offense, and winning the turnover battle, my big 3 keys for the game. What about you?
Yeah, I'm pretty locked in there with you. Definitely stop the run, right? As great as Ashton Genty is, and he's getting praise, deserved praise, Johnson it is another animal in himself. It's kind of been under the radar because of the whole Ashton Genty, but he's a running back who, I mean, he's been reaping havoc on just about everybody. So you got to stop the run. The other one, special teams. When you play Iowa, special teams is always a big one. You got to be clean with it, and you just can't afford any crucial mistakes. You talk about it, kind of blends in with that turnover. Iowa loves to go ahead and get some turnovers off special teams, if not momentum plays. That's kind of their bread and butter. And the final key for me is that offense, like, no hangover. Play with the same confidence you have, but don't be thinking that this offense is high flying now. You got to execute against this Iowa defense. They're going to give you what's in front of them. They're going to tempt you to play aggressive, just looking for that turnover. I mean, in some ways, you got to beat Iowa in what they do. They play a very patient game. They try to get ahead of you by at least 1 score, trying to force you to be aggressive. And when teams are aggressive, that's when they really start to make their runs with the turnover. So those are my 3 keys. You got to be clean with the turnovers, stopping the run, and then, of course, give what the defense is giving you. Don't be too aggressive. That's what they want you to do, because that's how they get their turnovers.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. It's one of those things where they haven't had to play from behind very much this year. They tend to get the lead. They tend to put the pressure on the other team, which allows them to run the ball, which allows them to sit in their zone defense, their quarters coverage, which they love to do a predominant amount of the time. I mean, their defensive coordinator has been at Iowa running a very similar scheme for longer than Dylan Raiola's been alive. Dylan Raiola's 19. He's been there about 20 years. So they're going to be who they are, and they're going to do what they do. The other thing I would say, we beat Rutgers in a 1-score game. I think people forget about that. But being able to win a 1-score game, because inevitably with the cold weather, may not be as many points scored, good defenses on both sides, going to run the ball, clock's probably going to move a little faster. Can we find a way to win at the end of the game? That'd be my final key to the game if I was going to give a bonus key.
Yeah, I'll throw in my bonus key. Very similar to last week to Wisconsin. We've seen what that does. Those last 3 minutes and those first 3 minutes heading into the half and out of the half. Like, those are huge momentum plays. And like that Wisconsin game, that really kind of early sealed the door on Wisconsin. Not only punching 7 in, and then you get the turnover on defense. We'll take 3 more on the way to half. And then the second half, you start out great as well. I mean, those are huge momentum things. And against Iowa, like, the whole thing with Iowa is like, you just really got to avoid letting them get ahead. Because when they get ahead, that's when that Iowa brand football becomes really difficult and annoying to play against. We got only about a couple minutes left here. Adam Carricker, talk about some of the outside elements here. We already kind of see some of the friction. They had security blocking off Matt Rule and company from doing their tradition, having a prayer in the center of the field. You also got the freezing cold elements. What about the outside stuff intrigues you about this game?
Yeah, this is going to be my bias coming out, I suppose. The thing at midfield is such a stupid thing. Like, they're not going there and planting a Nebraska flag in the middle of your logo. They're not jumping up and down all over the logo. They're going there to do a prayer. I remember when Shedeur Sanders in Colorado a couple years ago came out and he started talking trash to them and flashing his symbolic, not real Rolex because he didn't have anything on his freaking wrist at the time. I don't know why this is a problem or an issue. To me, it's just kind of silly. As far as the cold, this is something that's going to play an impact. You know, it's interesting because you look at the quarterback matchup. It's a walk-on versus a 5-star.
Mm-hmm.
And Dylan has more career starts, 11, than Jackson Stratton, 2. He has way more career pass attempts. Jackson Stratton's only attempted 20, thrown for 76 total yards. I heard Aaron Davis say when Caleb Johnson runs for 100 yards, Iowa's 7-1. Their quarterback's never even thrown for 100 yards in his entire career. And I'm not trying to slam the kid. These are just facts. And so that matchup is pretty interesting to me between Dylan and Jackson Stratton. Obviously, the key to stopping Iowa, stopping their run game first and forcing him to make plays. But I am kind of curious how the cold affects this game because Dylan, he's a Phoenix kid. He's a Georgia kid. How does he respond to that? Also, his family members are Wisconsin, Detroit, Nebraska guys, but they were old linemen. So I'm kind of curious to see how that plays into it. Again, it's going to be a bloodbath in the trenches. Do we play up front in the trenches like we did last week? Can we repeat that performance again this week in this cold weather?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, this cold weather to me, it's going to be the trenches. Right? I mean, right away, that's going to stick out to me like how this game's going to go. If you're letting Iowa have all the success in the world, they got an impressive front seven on defense and that offensive line. I mean, traditionally, Iowa's always been pretty solid there. It's going to be a big game, especially when it gets late in that, when it gets really freezing cold. What does that scoreboard look like? And how it, to me, this has a chance to that Rutgers game you're talking about. We heard Monungai heading into that one. We were able to shut down Monungai, and then their quarterback had to beat us, and we saw how that turned out. Our offense didn't look great, but we were able to hold them to only 7 points once we flipped the script, and they had to play through the passing game. This should be a good one. Adam Carricker, give me your prediction before we get out of here.
All right. You know, it's interesting because I would have never predicted that we scored 23 points earlier this year because that would involve making multiple field goals, okay? Now I'm like, hey, we make field goals. Their kicker just came off a 5-for-5 performance against Maryland. He made 5 field goals in that game. And so I've stuck with this all week. I haven't changed it. I'm going to go 23-20, a bunch of field goals, a couple of touchdowns thrown in there. The good guys get 23. The other guys, by the way, all you can see on my shirt is Iowa. To be clear, it says Iowa has bad corn. I just realized that. I don't want people to think I'm sitting here in an Iowa shirt. I am not. It's Iowa has bad corn. Good guys 23, the other guys 20.
I'm not too far. I got 23-17, Huskers winning it. I'm glad you clarified that because I didn't want to call you out on the stream here, but I just saw a red Iowa shirt. But yes, Iowa indeed does have bad corn. We'll find out here, 6:30 kickoff. And then, of course, the post-game show, Nick Sainer, Jay Foreman, Adam Carricker, appreciate the time as always. You can catch him on 93.7 The Ticket as well. We'll throw it to break. We'll have one more segment before we get to kickoff. Talk to you in a little bit.
The Kindler Hotel in downtown Lincoln is a boutique hotel experience unlike any other in the area. Their 45 well-appointed rooms take inspiration from the history of Lincoln. Their double queen rooms are great for guests traveling with family, and the suites are great for a business trip or romantic getaway. No trip to the Kindler is complete without a handcrafted cocktail from Boitano's Lounge on the main floor, with comfortable seating options both inside and on the outside patio. Book your room today at thekindlerhotel.com in Lincoln at 11th and P. It's the holiday season. Time for work parties, friend get-togethers, family gatherings, which means lots of eating. Maybe you think you've perfected your holiday meals, and maybe you have no idea where to even start. Let's fix that right now. No holiday party is complete without Führer's cheese spread. It goes well with any type of cracker, pretzels, apples, chili, vegetables, chips, and of course, it's perfect to pair with wine or beer. Holiday meals aren't complete until Führer's cheese spread is on the table. Find your own container at your nearest local grocery store today.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting book. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
When you need a new water heater, nothing beats the ProLine family of water heaters from A.O. Smith. ProLine models are built using commercial-grade components, meaning they're built to help you tackle your toughest days. No matter if you need a gas or electric model, A.O. Smith has a ProLine unit for you. A.O. Smith, innovation has a name. Call Wellman Plumbing at 402-434-2400 for a great deal on a water heater today. Again, that's 402-434-2400.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
Black Friday savings all month long. From appliances to mattresses, the savings can be found at Schaefer's. For a limited time, you can save $200 on a legendary Speed Queen pair of your own, including new black models with a 7-year warranty. These American-made machines are built on a solid foundation to outlast the competition. Every day is Black Friday in November, now at Schaefer's.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Attention students and anyone else looking for a great deal. Sun Valley Lanes and Games has the ultimate weeknight special. For just $15.95, enjoy unlimited bowling, lucky putt mini golf, and laser tag. Flash your college ID at check-in to receive $2 off your admission. It's the perfect way to unwind Sunday through Thursday nights. Check out sunvalleylanes.com for hours and availability. Sun Valley Lanes and Games, located at 321 Victory Lane.
Lincoln's best place to meet, eat, and compete. Sun Valley.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket as soon as the clock hits 0 for the Jay Foreman postgame show. Listen to expert analysis from the Husker Hall of Famer, an 8-year NFL veteran for 90 minutes after the game. The Jay Foreman postgame show, sponsored by Anderson Ford, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Tavern 180, Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Vinnie Kreekak of State Farm Insurance, and Action Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Electrical on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Hey everybody, this is Chris Beecham from Brand Lincoln Podcast and Perch Merch, your go-to in Lincoln for printing and promotional needs. Speaking of that, we are running a huge hoodie sale now through November 30th to save you big money on great brands. 20% off everything from Nike and Bella Canvas pullovers to Gildan and Port & Company sweatshirts and district fleeces. Get yours for your group or organization today by calling us at 402-217-5212 or go to perch-merch.com.
Back to the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mullen Motors.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment of the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate Pregame Show, getting ready to kick off versus Iowa here. This segment sponsored by Mullen Motors. Get to Husker road games and youth sporting events safely this fall in a new ride from Mullen Motors just north of 48th and Layton and Lincoln. All right, Austin Norman, you heard me. We don't got a lot of time here left. It's quick. Give me your thoughts. We got Iowa, rivalry game. Already got a little bit of friction. Security on the logo, keeping the guys off. What are your thoughts?
Find a way. Find a way. 6-6, no shame in it. 7-5 is nice. Be great to end the regular season with a win. It's going to get chippy. It's going to be chilly, and you don't draw it up any other way, right? It's late November. Calendar's about to turn. It doesn't matter that you're already bowl eligible. It doesn't matter that they're already bowl eligible. Harrison, it would be huge for this program to find a way to beat Iowa and out a step forward, right? Don't be Wisconsin, all right? You're already better than them, right? You beat them, and you're a game better than they are right now. But don't lose to your rival on Black Friday, right? Minnesota went on the road and got the win. Be Minnesota. Increase your bowl standing. Increase your momentum going into, those 15 practices after the year. It's all on the table for Nebraska today. I'm not willing to put a prediction out there. My gut and my head are taking me different directions. I just want to see the Huskers play well tonight.
That's all I want as well. I just want to win. I don't care if it's 1-0. Win the damn game. And for me, this is big. We win this one. I think we're done looking behind us. I think we can finally enough with here we go again. We're here. All right, let's go start winning some ball games because we broke the streak versus Wisconsin. Maybe even passed the curse to them. They took a tough loss to Minnesota. Now there's a chance to beat Iowa once again, who's really dominated the series as of late outside of one game. Great opportunity for the Huskers, but that's going to wrap it up for us. The A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show. Appreciate you guys listening. Be sure to catch the postgame show. Nick Sander, Jay Foreman, as soon as the clock hits 0. We'll talk to you then.
Salt Mine City is